she played a fish, she would drown in the air. Shut up.
Wow.
That's
Big
how I'm
nude.
doing.
That's
Yeah, hello, 7 a.m.
Fuck. Oh. Ah. You and your novelty mug clues. That offends me how cute it is. I'm offended by its cuteness.
I got my character sheet with my adorable Mario mug. It's so cute.
Enough. You're mocking me now.
You know you want
I'm
one.
already jealous about it.
I
to
don't even
flaunt
remember
it.
where I got it, but it's good, and it's got honey green tea in it. Anyways, I'm Clues playing Jen, my Gem Weaver. I'm hoping that I don't roll like garbage today. Yay! Oh wait, hold on. Can't continue on yet. Hold on, I found it because we talked about this like 3 or whatever months ago, and we're currently in April, so we have to show off the Nook.
Oh God, I forgot about that calendar.
Oh, yes. His tasteful nude.
And then mine was last month for Dren. Okay, now you can continue on. I found it yesterday and I was like, I gotta show it off.
Hi, I'm Viking Goat. I play Thunic Gentle Trunk, and I misplaced that calendar when I cleaned my office, and now I can't find it.
I feel like you do that a lot.
I do, and my office is a mess. I mean, when I say I clean my office, what I really put everything into a pile in the corner, as opposed to a pile in a different corner or a spread out pile
I
in
understand.
several areas.
I know this. I know this
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
I know. I am Blind Cleric. I play a human fighter, Hugon Valander, who has not slept well for 3 days now. He is approaching a critical point in his ability to perceive reality. He is very short-tempered. And that's baseline. But like now he's short-tempered and doesn't understand that if he starts swinging, he'll actually hurt people.
What?
Our microphones or
This
your?
is literally every week.
Is it? Well, hold on. Let's just take a moment to appreciate this. Could you not be heard, or could all of us not be?
No,
heard?
this time it was just him.
Okay, well then.
No, that's every time. So,
But at
it's
the
on
same
brand.
time, we don't have to go back through
Our
this
spiel.
again.
Brian, after this, I need you to make a post-it note and stick it next to your camera or your microphone.
But then we would be off brand. There has to be at least one glitch per show. That's
It's
Can't
true. We
hear the
have
DM.
sort of adopted this shoddiness as an internal. Well, it's not leprosy even. It's just like we don't care.
now she still can't hear you.
Oh.
We don't give a fuck. Just Brian though.
I can't hear you either. I'm checking. We have to be able to hear the DM though.
Well, of course, yes, but like it would also be funny if like we just start reacting to stuff like,
You have no idea what's going on, but we're just gonna be like, oh my god, Hugon!
Okay, that was not my fault. For some reason, Streamlabs just decided that it was no longer going to recognize my microphone. anymore.
we can
The
hear you
microphone
now.
that I've had plugged in for the last 2 years, it just decided, no, I'm not going to recognize you anymore. So I
Fuck your
decided to change it.
microphone.
Pretty much. Anyway,
I blame Windows updates because that's what always happens to me.
Let's kick it over to our resident MC,
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there.
because my camera was probably off.
Incorporated.
Yeah, no. I'm Roz, aka Purple Monkey Robots. But today I'll be your tiefling bard Eno, and I'll be stealing books and talking my way out of it, and hopefully not getting arrested.
Because that is what he does.
Yeah.
And that's actually what happened last week when we last saw our protagonists here. They were in Candlekeep, doing some research, continuing research, to find out about things, many things of various natures, and yeah. And they and during the course of that, some shenanigans happened, because that too is on brand. There was some abuse of the polymorph ability. There were books that were stolen. There were people were talked out of impending arrest. There was fire. A brief stop at the gift shop. And now we find our heroes with the various items that they think they might need to enact a plan that Hugon Valander had concocted, which was to somehow convert one of the shadow gates, which was essentially a local area network of teleportation portals, and somehow hack it into the greater portal network, whatever that may be, and so they could turn one of the shadow
the equivalent
gates.
of digging up a Comcast line and splicing into it.
Essentially, yes. I like it. Yes,
Which
I
is
like it.
super illegal.
Not that we do
They
not.
don't like that.
We do not. Yeah, they frown upon that.
They really don't.
They're decidedly nonplussed about people doing that.
Yeah, they have issues with that.
So they but they're trying to find a way. They think they might have found a way to hack the shadow network into the main portal network, so they could turn one of the shadow gates into an entree into the City of Doors, Sigil, where they would potentially be able to further their goals and missions. And we have found our intrepid Team X, otherwise known as Team Xenagogue, if you're not into the whole brevity thing, in front of the Shadow Gate outside of Candlekeep. You can hear alarms and shouts and everything happening from Candlekeep itself. The doors are shut because of alarm systems that were triggered. And yeah, but other than that, business as usual. But you find yourselves by the gate, which we had described as being on a little spit of land, a little isthmus, about 5 minutes south of, 5 minutes south of Candlekeep, jutting out into this cliff with sheer cliffs that are dropping sheer down into the ocean. We're now talking. I'm imagining at this point you guys spent some time doing this. You guys did not. Well, you spent one night there, and you started researching the next morning. So I'm going to say this is probably mid to late afternoon.
Okay.
So the sun is still relatively high in the sky. It's definitely past its meridian, and it's reflecting. You can see it's doing that. It's reflecting in the ocean, and you see the nice long sun reflection in the ocean with all the glitter, and there's a refreshing breeze coming up from the sea, and yeah. But there was explosions, and Dren showed up, no longer polymorphed, and so this is where we find you. How would you like to proceed? Dren, and just to remind people, Dren had
Dren had broken 7 rules.
More at least.
At least.
And she had realistically reassigned one of the books that was in Candlekeep that was from Sigil, in order to use that as part of the overall plan, hacking system here, in order to
Did you manage to actually get out? Last time I remember you were like clung to the ceiling, like crawling around throwing fireballs at people. Did you
Yeah, I think
escape?
I just managed to get to you guys,
Mhm.
and then that's where we ended.
Yes.
Because Hugon left immediately to the hill where the portal is.
Yeah, with the old flesh bag Dren
No, he left that plastered
Yeah.
to somebody.
No, he threw it.
away.
He threw it against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I said something like, "Oh, there's Dren now," or something like that.
Yeah, after
'cause
the
we don't know
explosion, it's like,
where-
oh, here she comes.
Yeah, there's explosions going on. We can just track her through the crowd. Dink fire, dink fire. She's not. Yeah.
This is the game we play.
She's not entirely a good person.
No, she fucking isn't. Entirely a good person? She's the least good person in the party.
There's a reason why I
Love
labeled
it.
this neutral characters.
Does anything happen to the books? Like I'm using them as the portal things. Does anything like physically happen to them, or do they stay as books?
Well, you guys haven't figured that out yet. It was
Okay.
Hugon during his research had figured. So to take us back a little bit, Hugon during his research had figured out that not necessarily the mechanics of it, but in that there was probably a way, based on what he had read, to hack these two networks together. But being that he is not magically inclined, he didn't really know the details of that. So I think that's when he came to you, and upon looking at
Okay.
the same information and all that, it's like, well, wait a minute, we needed to have some anchor points. We needed to have something from where you wanted to go, somewhere where you were, and then you had to figure out how you were going to tether everything together in an appropriate way, so that way you wouldn't be ripped apart atom by atom as you
So-
attempted to reach Sigil.
Unmade on a
he-
molecular level.
I'll look at Hugon and because I wasn't there for all of that, so I'll look at him, be like, "Still got those instructions by chance?"
Yes. What? What now?
So proud of you. I just need to look at it because I got to study for a while, and I got to set this up. Bless you.
Hugon sighs and then
The book
begins
sneezes.
The book sneezes.
I'm not a mimic.
and then he rips it in
Ah.
half.
Yeah.
And just rip. Okay.
I need that page anyways. It's fine.
The whole book is just now in two wiggly jelly halves.
There's some stuff hanging out of it, you know.
Yeah. Hugon essentially, he sighs very deeply and then begins to scrawl in the dirt the exact
Oh no.
set of instructions that he relayed before, like
Okay.
perfectly.
If it's totally in the ground, I'm just gonna, like little kid on a playground, just thunk, completely sit down as he's scribbling.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a little too close, face is a little too close to the ground, like as he's like pens or the.
He's using the butt end of his halberd to
yeah.
do it.
Oh, I'm like right a little too close to the sword. Just okay.
He endures that. And
I noticed no discomfort.
when he finishes, he gestures and says, "Get this right."
I'm gonna assume I have to arcana this.
Yeah, there would need to be an arcana check to see exactly how
Roll
you're
better
gonna
today. Okay.
do better.
Do
Or else,
better.
or else
Suck less.
or else I melt you down and make you into something different.
No, I don't want to melt this set. It was a present from a friend.
Well,
19.
19.
I don't want all kinds of things to happen, but if people fail me, then bad things happen.
Okay.
Or is
So,
this like a combined history and arcana?
no. This is
Okay.
so basically this is more of like arcana on the artificer level.
Oh, okay.
Because you're making something new here, essentially. Well, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously been made before. We were just actually discussing this, right? Things have been made before. There's probably really nothing new in magic, right?
I've seen it. I just haven't made it
Yeah.
yet, but I know
So-
how to.
Everything everything in magic has already been done somewhere, somehow, some way, in some plane of existence, in some multiverse version. Everything's been done. So it's just a matter of taking different parts and reiterating them, right? And you think, looking at the instructions based on what you have here, you think with the help of Thunuk and Eno, based on Thunuk's ability as a cartographer and his knowledge of the gates up to this point, and with Eno's seeming you remember seeing Eno singing to the World Tree. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it because we were trying earlier. When he got you helped get everyone out of the Shadowfell, and was able to entice the conduits to work a certain way. You think that with the help of them and your ability of making things, that between the three of you, you're just like, yeah, we can do this. We can make this gate hack into the greater portal network, the GPN, for lack of a better term, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
And turn this, and it would be basically, you think that using this book, you can turn it into some kind of artifact, some kind of mobile signal broadcast unit type
It's a hotspot.
situation. Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
hotspot.
yeah, exactly.
A portal hotspot.
Of now, listen, to how well it's going to work, you don't know. How often you can use it, you don't know. How powerful, you don't know. But Dren's
So a
really never ever
Soviet
concerned with
portal
these things.
hotspot.
Well, it's more like it's like Dren makes things because I can make them, and then we'll see how they work later. Because then, testing and experimentation and science. But sometimes you just build things because you can.
What do I need Eno and Thunuk to specifically do to help me attune? Is this like Eno has to play the frickin' world song and...
So the book, as we discussed before, was metal. And it's like metal, but also made of metal. So you think you need somehow to have Eno embed the proper vibrations into this book, because the metal will be able to maintain a certain harmonistic integrity, a certain vibrational deal. But and in Thunuk's case, it's making sure that song is correct, and
He's like keeping it harmonious.
yeah, making sure that it's the proper vibration based on the Shadow Gates vibrations, based on what he knows of the Shadow Gates. So it's like, because when if you remember, when Eno originally did the got you guys out of the Shadowfell, there was a bit of a time skip.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you guys came out of your Shadowgate at that, if I remember. I'm trying to remember.
No, we came out in the middle of the goddamn nowhere.
Yeah, so it was
months after the fact.
Yeah, so there was, so that's one of the issues, so it's like, okay, so this is so the vibrational qualities of Eno's song that can activate this and make it work would allow the network to be connected to the GPN. But you need, because you didn't have the stability of the Shadowgate network, that's where you think that's maybe you're not sure. This is all hypothesis at this point. You could be very wrong. That the because it wasn't a concrete anchored network, that's where the time skip came, because there's the time space differential. So you think that maybe with Thunuk's navigational prowess that that might have been the missing piece. So it's somehow there needs to be that where while the vibration is being imbued, that it's being anchored the proper way.
If this is all stuff I'm thinking of, this is basically just spewing out of my mouth right
Because as we've discussed before, Dren has no inner monologue.
now. No, if like I didn't have much of an inner monologue before, but now it's just like amplified. So be like, okay, guys, like not you, Hugon, I don't need you.
I'm aware of that.
I need you. Okay, you remember when we traveled and you were playing? I need you to play that specifically. And then Sanuk, I need you.
What the fuck does that even mean? That is the vaguest set of instructions you have ever given.
No, I know exactly what she's talking about.
He's got it. Don't worry. Go have a turnip.
We're all,
fuck you.
together, man. It's all on the same wavelength. Go have a turnip?
I don't know.
I'll go find a turnip and shove it sideways up your ass.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
The love is real. And then I'll turn to the Nook and I'll be like, you just do your best calming sense because I have no idea what's about to happen.
Okay. Don't understand, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's like the vaguest set of rules ever.
As she's talking, Eno has cast Mage Hand, and the Mage Hand is hanging off of Eno's chin and going like that, like the whole entire time, just to give you an idea of what's going on.
Hugon is keeping watch on Candlekeep. Have they sent guards after us yet?
No.
Okay. So
Now-
he's going to keep doing that.
Is this like I have to set up almost a summoning circle type thing, or what's the deal?
You think that some kind of focus circle would probably aid,
Okay.
because you're basically taking this object and
Uh-huh.
you're imbuing it, so you do need to focus the magical energies, and you know that while you're not studied like a wizard would be, there is an innate knowledge, and something's telling you that you need to figure out a way of focusing those energies, so that way it's all ending up in the book in the proper way. So that would be.
Then what I want to do is I'm going to go grab a stick and I'm going to start drawing I'm going to draw 2 circles on the ground. I'm going to put one book for here and then one book for where we're going.
Okay.
And
so do and I'm gonna. Oh, jeez. Dexterity check for the drawing. Because that's not performance. I would call that dexterity.
that's fine. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, so you're able to make everything the proper size and everything. Yes, so you're able to get that
Okay.
into the appropriate proportions.
And then after I place the books and everything, I'll like just kind of grab onto Eno and I'm going to put him in front of the like kind of in between the books. Be like, "Okay. Do your thing." And then I'll kind of shove Sanuk to like the other side. So there's like 2 circles. Eno's on one side, Sanuk's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, "Okay." And then kind of manhandle Sanuk like from his calf muscle over to that way. Like, there. Okay. And then I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't think I'm required too much in this. More of maybe just handling any possible magic. I'm just going to kind of sit there in the middle of the middles.
Okay.
Like Venn diagram, and I'm just kind of in the center.
Right.
Okay. So is Sonic, are we facing each other?
Yes.
Is that what's happening? Okay.
Well, that's how I shoved you. I don't know if
Okay.
it stayed that way, but
All right.
now kiss. No.
Sure.
Listen, I
Is
I
that-
don't make the rules. This is how the magic demands it. You know. Just...
So Eno has directed his mage hand to grab the drum from his belongings and put it in the center, in between like kind of positioned in such a way that's in between. It's you're also in between us, right, Drenmai? So you're okay. So
Yeah, I'm sitting down. You could literally walk over me.
so the drum is kind of in front of you in a way, but it's also between us, between Thunnik and I. And he gestures to the mage hand, and the mage hand starts just doing a simple boom, boom.
Give me a beat.
Boom, boom. Just takes out his lute, and he's got Buck recording this whole thing just so that he can listen to it later, in case there's something he can kind of learn from it. And he's trying to. He's got his journal open as well, and he's trying to like go through his ramblings from months ago to try and like determine exactly, because he'd written it all down, but it's like he's trying to remember it all. But then he starts playing this song, and it's kind of discordant at first, and then it just sort of builds, and it's building around this drum pattern of just this simple drum pattern, but he's trying really hard, and then like he realizes he's trying too hard, and then he just sort of relaxes, and then she's just sort of following the muse of okay, now I think I have it.
So the first thing let's do our own Arcana check to see if you're able to kind of tune into the right frequency, to the right tempo.
Okay. So let's do a Text Arcana check.
Okay, the right.
Let's see. That's all right. That's 11.
Bardic inspiration.
So
Can I help being like the tuning fork of this process and help his Arcana?
How would you help him? Tell me how you would help him.
Okay.
Well, he's trying to do the music bit, and I can see he's kind of fumbling, so I want to use like whatever my magical sense, like kind of like that sixth sense of the tingly feeling that I get, that's like, oh no, okay, it's starting to go wavy, I want it to go straight kind of thing, so I'm just trying to more focus it.
Okay, so you're acting as like
I'm gonna be like a tuning
that
fork.
tuner, the electronic tuner that's like when you start getting a little off key on the guitar, it's like so that would give him
the arcane soundboard.
Yeah.
Yes. So the sound engineer, the arcane sound engineer. So that would grant you advantage on that roll.
Yes.
Mr. Eno.
So
okay,
wait.
I don't have to roll the boost.
No, you don't have to.
Okay, so I roll again.
Okay.
You roll again.
All right. So
Preferably better.
Do better.
So I start feeling like, like this isn't going very well. And I direct the mage hand to stop, and like I stop playing for a second, and then I wave the mage hand away, and it disappears, and I summon a new mage hand, and
fire the drummer.
Annihilated your predecessor.
Yeah, exactly.
Do better, or I will also annihilate you.
And then it moves the drum like closer to Drenmai. It's like, okay, I just didn't have that aligned right. I rolled it was a 19 on a die plus 5, so that's a 24 Arcana check.
Yes, that is much better. You're able to find the rhythm.
Nice, much better.
Well done.
So then I start playing again, and now I'm like very relaxed.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, like this is exactly.
This is a very Pete. You're gone, Ringo.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very. We're in the Woodstock groove now.
And the mage hand is now it's dump, but it's like adding a thumb in there, so it's like dump, dump, thump, dump, dump, thump. So it's like there's an extra beat.
I like it.
If this kills us all, at least it'll be cool.
And let's get a performance check, because that's where we want to make sure that everything's coming together for this part of it.
So he's feeling like he's in the zone, and he starts, and again it starts a little discordant, but he tries to ease it back out because he's really relaxed now. And I feel like that's probably going to be enough. That's a 23.
I think that'll be enough. I think we'll be able
it's a 23.
So you've got the rhythm, you got the better drummer. You know, you got that straightened out. And now you're able, so you're starting to fall back into that place you were you're able to kind of bring yourself back to when you were at the World Tree and feeling that vibration of and the harmonics of the world, and so you're starting to play into that. And Dreadmouth, you start to feel the book starting to vibrate with that, with the rhythm of it. It's picking that up. I mean, it's not quite right, but it's starting to pick it up and vibrate in coordination with the music and the drum. Now, Thunic, as Dren was doing her word vomit of her thought process of everything that was going on here, as best you figured, is that you're basically acting as the anchor. That is where you need to use your cartography skills, which was something that Thunuk, we've discussed, already had. I mean, he never really got lost in the woods. He always knew where he was, which is why he's the cartographer for Team X. So while you can see that the idea is that they're trying to make some kind of connection between these two different portal networks, you need to figure out a way somehow to anchor this, so that way the two ends of these portals aren't flopping around in space-time, so that way you don't lose the time that you lost before.
And he's positioned within touching range of...
I think everything is within touching range of Thunic.
That's okay.
I made it all pretty close.
We never covered this before, but do the shadow gates, they make a sound when you're activating them, sort of, but do they make like individual sounds, like when you're dialing a phone number and it's supposed to make a different tone? But
is there a dial tone?
Is there? Oh, not a dial tone, which is the. But is there there's a slightly
for the
different
buttons
pitch when you hit the buttons?
Give me a retroactive perception check.
Retroactive.
Yes.
Can I do that with advantage, considering how frequently we've used the gates?
I think that's fair.
That does seem reasonable.
I mean, really, what you should have gone is gone back in time and done this perception check. But seeing as how we haven't invented time travel yet, we'll have to do it this way.
17.
Yet being the keyword.
Yeah, you do. Now that you're thinking back to it, it was sort of there in the background. You never really picked up on it before. But now that you're thinking back to it, every time you activated one of the gates, it had its own tone. I would imagine that it would not be unheard of that the Gentle Trunk clan, living as they do, and also being Giantkin, probably had some stone instruments. If you've ever heard them, where they basically have rocks and you hit them almost like a dulcimer or xylophone or something like that, where if you hit them, it has a very eerie, ethereal sound when you have it when you hit a rock like that. Not like a hammer hitting a rock, but there's actually a sound. And you do remember that all of the gates had a very slightly different sound to them. So you think that might be part of this, how that might be part of how they work, is that there's a tonality.
There's an individual tonality for the gate itself, or for like when you touch the
for the gate itself when it activates.
Okay.
But you think you might be able to suss out, if you worked hard enough at it, like how the symbols play together to generate that tone.
Okay. Thunic is going to start tapping on the symbols to try to get just the right tone that we need. And while he's doing that, he thinks, based upon what he was told, he's supposed to be singing harmony to whatever Eno's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So effectively, whatever tone he's making, he thinks is somehow related to the song, the music that Eno is doing, which should be related to the tone that's coming from the gate.
All right. So I need first things first. Let's do a performance check to see if Thunuk can carry a tune. And I imagine Thunuk would be like really down, low, deep, baritone.
He's the guy from the barbershop quartet who at the end goes, who at the end delivers the punchline usually. But he flubs it because he's not really good at punchlines.
He's the one that says Carmen Sandiego.
Except when Thunuk's done, like, all the windows just like vibrate, like, oh, what the fuck was that?
he's a subwoofer.
But he forgets it's San Diego and says San Francisco every time.
Carmen San Francisco.
Damn it, you're fired, Thunuk.
Oh, 19.
So it turns out
everybody's rolling like champs today.
Thunuk
is good.
Can in fact carry a tune.
I rolled terribly on a Friday night from my other D&D game, so I'm making up for it now.
Yes, we are. Excellent. Yeah. So would it just be deep, or for some reason in my head, I'm almost hearing like Thunuk doing like Buddhist throat singing, Tibetan throat singing. You know, where they were able to like get their vocal cords to vibrate at two separate frequencies.
Tuvan, I think it is.
Tuvan throat singing. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yes.
Actually used to try and pull that off, and I can't anymore. Yeah, so it like,
but it's a low resonance, and
yeah.
So now we're going to combine that with an Arcana check to see about taking this vibrational energy and transferring it into the gate as you're matching up the different. Oh no, this would be a survival check. Excuse me, it'd be a survival check because that's how we've operated the gates in the past.
Yes,
that's how we've operated. So now we're going to take this energy and.
Why didn't you stop one facet sooner? 14.
14.
Bardic Inspiration. Add a D8.
Ooh. Do I roll the D8? I forget. Do you roll the D8? Or
you roll it.
You roll it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a 1.
It's a 15.
It was a 1?
I rolled a 1 on a D8.
But it's better than a 14. It takes you a minute. You're almost like out of... You're like... So it's like you're trying to jump in at the right time, and it takes you a couple times. It's like when you have like the beginning of the song and you know you're supposed to, your part starts, but then like, no, it's too soon. No, I missed it. It's too late. It's too, like you're just trying to find that moment that where your part hits, and it takes you a couple of times, but you're finally able to. Okay, now, and it's like, and you can see Eno's like looking over, being like. You know, like trying to cue you in, and you miss it a little bit, and he loops it again. You bring it back, you know, and so the song just keeps playing. And he eventually brings it in again, and so you have this Thunuk deep throat singing, and he's doing this. He's touching the various runes on the gate, and we've got Thunuk playing, we got the drum, and Drenmai, you're sitting here holding this book, and as you're doing this, you start to see a really faint, it's very difficult to see because it is still the middle of the day, but you start to see a faint bluish green glow in the circle that you have drawn as the arcane energy starts to coalesce and move around and ricochet around, and in this basically this cylinder that you've created that where Thunuk and Eno are basically acting as conduits. So now it is up to you to figure out how you're going to make all of this now play together. How are you going to make this? How are you going to make this metal book that we've talked about now actually become the true focus of this? So that way, when it now will work the way it's supposed to work. Because as of right now, your sense is that if you were just to try to open the gate and step through, the second anyone outside of Hugon stepped through, that was part of this whole ritual that you're building, that the whole effect would just snap out. Because it's like the in like video games when you have to have the rock on the depression pedal on the pressure plate, because if you don't, then the door closes again. The second one of you were to step out, the whole thing would end and it wouldn't work. So you need to fit. So the book is going to be basically your boulder that's going to keep everything running while you guys are all able to go through this gate. So you need to figure out how are you going to then take all this arcane energy that's being funneled and directed and given purpose by Eno and Thunic. Now, how is it going to be given a home, essentially, a place, a battery pack? How are you going to store it in this battery pack?
So we've talked about the metal book. What's the other book? Is it just a normal book, or what's the other one?
Was it one of the ones that Eno? No, it wasn't one of the ones that Eno grabbed. I think it was just a.
No, I grabbed both of them.
Oh, yeah, it's just
We
a.
just never talked about it.
Oh,
so.
you just grabbed random tchotchkes along your way out. It wasn't even a book. Remember, this is when you're on your way out as the Wraith Salamander.
No. Well, yeah. While I was running out, I was funneling a bunch of books. I don't even know what I all grabbed. It was just a handful of this book, handful of this book section, because I was just trying to grab something that was from.
So you have you can find a book that was written on Toril.
Okay.
You could find it's probably you ended up grabbing like let's see.
I want like the dumbest book I can find.
Yeah. Let's see. What would be dumb? Would it be no? It wouldn't be a travelogue.
Like 101 ways to sort your seashell. Just something really stupid.
Types of sand.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I got it. It is the taxonomy and mating rituals of grass.
Perfect. I think it's garbage. And what is on the inside of the metal book then?
What do you mean?
Well, if I open the metal book, it's a book.
It is a book.
What's it on? Like, what's it about?
That you don't know. You don't recognize the language. It was all written in various sigils. Various. You don't understand the writing in it. It looks very much like cuneiform. It looks like it was all acid etched.
Okay.
However, this was done because the pages inside are metal as well. They're flexible like paper, but it's very obviously metal.
Oh yeah, I've got some of that stuff laying around. It's fun.
But it's not like tinfoil or like, gold leaf where it's just going to tear. This is actually like,
So
paper is remarkably strong.
Let's see. Do I have anything that I could hold on? Because I know what I want to do with the metal book. I want to know if I can do anything. That won't be permanent. Ooh, okay. So this is going to be a bit much, and hopefully I can do this.
You realize he can't tell you no. Right?
I know. It's just how much bullshit I can get away with. So
I mean, you've proven you can get away with basically anything.
So what I want to do is ink.
You won't. I'm calling your bluff right now.
If ink is let's see. Okay. The non-metal book. I'm assuming it's just written in normal ink, and ink is made from either various dyes or water, something of that nature, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to cast Blight and specifically target the ink in that book.
To what end?
To get rid of it, because it's bullshit.
So
Actually, not so much to get rid of it. I want to modify it.
So you're trying to separate the ink from
the page,
so that you'll have the ink, or that the page will be blank,
so that I will be able to collect the ink, because I want to have in one hand, if I'm working with the normalish book on one hand, I want to be able to cast Blight on it so I can modify the ink. On the metal book, I want to cast either Shocking Grasp or Lightning Bolt, and that's how I want to focus the energy. I want.
So describe for me again the effects of Blight, because I'm
Blight is basically sapping all of, like, draining moisture from something. So I want to be able to kind of like suck up all of that ink, so that way I can rewrite it, but magically. And then with Shocking Grasp, I want to do the same thing, but I only want to do it in the border regions and in the margins of the book because I want to be able to read this metal book at some point in my life because it looks cool as shit.
Okay, so the ink, you're trying to move the ink from the book.
So that way, what Eno is going to be playing is going to be either written musically or in words or in vibrations or musical notes or however it comes out. Magically, it'll be written fully in the bullshit book, and then it'll be written in the margins and the borders of the other book.
So
with lightning.
To cast Blight in this specific of a way, you would have to do a very difficult Arcana check in order to make that work, because Blight is generally like an area effect, or it's a person. It's an effect like on a person.
I can target a specific thing.
But now we're being super specific.
We're being very super.
Yeah, because if you just wanted to blight the book, fine. But you're saying you want to blight specific parts of the book, and basically you'd end up with powdered ink, so you then have to find a way to rehydrate it.
That's fine. I'll spit on it. That'd be a 26. I love being Arcana based.
You don't love being Arcana based. You love the lack of rules. That's what you love.
Technically, I'm reading all the rules. I'm staying very specifically in the rule set. I'm just using it in a really weird way.
I'm using the rules, but I'm breaking the rules.
I'm not breaking the rules.
You are breaking the rules.
Last week I was breaking the rules.
So you're able to cast Blight onto the book about grass. And
bullshit. Don't care about any of that information. Suck it all up. I don't need it to read your
A single tear rolls down Thonic's cheek because this was information he could use.
If he knew anything about what was in that book, he might be displeased.
And you're able to kind of like shake the book out, and like it looks like ashes falling out of the book. It's basically the ink became like powdered, and so now you have, so you're shaking it out, and it's like when you have like one of those, like a sparkler, and when it's done, it has all like the little black beads everywhere. So that's kind of like where you have so you have a lot of that now.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it wasn't perfect. The book itself is destroyed. It's like it's immediately gone to dry rot. I mean, the book itself is like it's shriveled, and it used to be a book. It remembers maybe when it used to be a book. It's not even book adjacent anymore.
It sounds like it might crumble if you so much as pick it up.
So, but you have...
So basically my spell didn't work.
No. The ink sprinkles out of it, right?
Yeah, but I didn't want to focus the book then.
No, not the metal book, the paper book.
I know, but I need that book because we have to have 2 anchor points, right?
You do have the 2 anchor points, but you got the ink out. But Blight's a powerful fucking spell. It's there's consequences and repercussions.
So it did work.
The ink separated. It's still now. It didn't have to be the way Hugon described it. It didn't have to be a book as an anchor point. It just had to be something from this plane of existence. As
I
the
grab
anchor
a
point.
rock.
Okay.
It is from here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, then I will grab.
Turns out the rock is actually from hell.
I know.
It's actually an asteroid.
I'm going to space then.
Can you say Dark Sun?
Yeah, it's a cute
Not doing
Again,
elemental.
I'm fine with Dark Sun because I'd love to see Dren in Dark Sun.
I wouldn't.
I can't do shit.
And Hugon's like, I can do everything.
I can do everything. Is still the same.
Yeah.
It's just a little slightly worse here.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be a warlord now.
This is a target-rich environment.
Yeah.
I kind of actually see him being the opposite of like being unhappy about it. It basically like the intro to Lego Movie 2, where everything is awesome and he's just rolling around with his halberd, just murdering things left and right.
Hack. This is
Everything
all good.
is all...
Hack. Hugon, could you please stop? No, hack.
No. Would that I could, can't.
Okay, so now mind you, it can't just be any rock. I want something that's pleasing to look at because it has to be.
You find a rock.
I find a rock. It
You
just
find
has
a
to be a
rock.
nice rock.
It's the world's most perfect rock. No, it's a rock and rock.
It's a great rock. So then I'll put the rock down, and then I'll grab like a handful of that ink ashy stuff. And let's see. I imagine I either have, if I don't have a water canister on, I'm literally just gonna spit in the ink.
Oh,
and then
okay.
It needs liquid of some form. And then I want to etch that into the stone.
And you want to etch?
Actually, how long would it take me, or would it even be possible for me to find a crystal? Like, if I just start digging around?
It'd probably take you. If
Nothing
you found
special.
your
Literally
lantern.
like a quartz crystal. No, because it has to be from here.
That would. You're not sure. You might have to start smashing things open, and it might take you a while. That's even if that's the kind of rock that's around here. Although that was one of the coolest things I found out as a kid, that we had rocks in the area that if you hit them with a hammer, it turns out they were quartz inside. I was like, oh, we found crystals.
Yeah,
But-
quartz is literally everywhere. It's a super. Just then, real quick, I want to do an investigation. I know a shit ton about rocks, so
Because why
I just
not?
want to like. Well,
I know about rocks.
I know
okay,
about rocks.
sure.
it's literally in my write up. I like shiny things. So I just want to like investigate. Oh, that's a blomp. So 24 to the area. Do I think there might be anything even close where I could go dig real quick to get?
You think that you might be able to find a small rock that it might be quartz based? That, I mean, they're not rare. You know, we're not talking.
They're not rare at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it in a rock? Is it in dirt? Do I have any sense of where I'm?
Do you think it might be a rock that you have to smash open? That if you smashed it open, it would be quartz.
I'll say, keep doing your music stuff. The Nook, I need to borrow you for a minute. And I'll take him over to where I think the rock is, to be like, can you smash this for me real quick?
Why?
I need what's in it.
There's something in it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a surprise.
Neat. Okay. Hold on one moment. He starts inspecting the rock, like, how do I break this rock? Maybe.
More importantly, how are you going to break it to the rock's family?
Yeah. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the world, the rock is like, oh, I can't do the eyebrow thing. Someone's talking about me. How big was this rock again?
First,
I
you
don't know. So
first you have
we don't
to-
know how big it is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, good job. He is destroyed.
yeah. First, you
Funny
have to
thing
smell.
Smell what the rock is cooking.
Yeah, the amount of effort I placed into that was like infinitesimal. The results are amazing.
That was good. I'm sorry. I'm just...
It's fine. We'll get our DM back eventually.
See, this is why you let Dren do her shit. Because...
Oh no! No! Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This is like 100% the result of Dren.
Exactly.
Like, this had to happen.
We have to appreciate the chaos.
Of course. Of course.
And hang on a second. We got to do. What am I doing here?
I don't know what you're doing.
Where'd it go?
Completely
I
gone
mean,
off the
are
rails
any of
today.
us doing anything really? We're,
So I got to use some of my dark inspiration here.
Uh-oh.
We have a new stream boss.
So hang on.
Um,
Okay. So, as you are pulling up this rock,
okay.
you honestly feel like you can just break it in your hand. You think it'll just It's not like
Oh,
this
I love Thanook being strong boy.
where
like, like a big old walnut, basically.
yeah, just just break it in your hand. So you're able to do that, and you begin to feel a tremor in the ground, not like an earthquake. Tremor might be too much. It's a deep vibration. Modern world equivalent. It's when a truck is driving by. You can feel the vibration from pretty far away. Just because it's such a low resonance, and it's between Thunix singing and all the harmonics and Eno's playing and the magic, and you feel the magic actually start to settle into the book, into your metal book, and you feel like you could absolutely you feel as though this might be able to be more permanent than you originally thought. In that you could, in the book, in other words, when you were first putting all this together, between Hugon's information and the things that Eno and Thunuk were doing with this, the original thought was, well, it might work. I don't know for how long. I don't know how powerful. I don't know what the results are going to be. But you're pretty sure now that the direction that you're going is going to turn this into almost a semi-permanent battery, where you're confident everyone's going to be able to get through, and you are sure that you'll be able to use it again, that it's not going to destroy everything as soon as you pass through the portal, that you might be able to basically make a DS9 wormhole with this thing.
Oh my.
So Thunuk is able to...
Cracks it open. He starts feeling the vibrations in the ground. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He thinks it's a stampede. He picks up Dren. He looks at Hugon and Eno and says, "Stampede! We gotta run!"
Thunuk,
Can you feel it in the ground?
can you not be stupid for like 10 more minutes?
Stampedes are not
I do
stupid.
earmuffs on him.
Put Dren down. Right now.
Drop it. Drop it.
Nope.
We have to run.
No, we don't. Put Dren down right now. Look, we're in an open fucking field. Where's the stampede?
Puts Dren down, and as he puts her down, he puts his ear to the ground. He's like,
And
"I
like,
don't know."
Hugon's been like, occasionally, he knows they stole some shit from Candlekeep.
Mhm.
So he's like checking over his shoulder. Or is there like an army of pissed off monks and scribes?
There are
on
not.
their-
It looks as though the smoke from Candlekeep has dissipated, because this ritual has been taking a little bit, right?
Mhm.
But it has dissipated. You can still see it's like kind of still coming out a little bit of the door. The doors are open again,
Mhm.
and as best you can tell, it's business as usual.
I start to see Hugon panic, so I want to. I'll try and I see Tanook on the ground still, and I'll take the two halves of the rock. I'll kind of pry out one of the crystals,
Mhm.
and then I'll kind of shove the two halves in his face, be like, "Look, surprise!" And then I'm gonna go back to the circle. Focus on this. Go back to this, and so if anyone doesn't know, quartz are used as incredible signal amplifiers. So I want to use the ink in the quartz
Okay.
and then write it in there.
Okay.
It's gonna look really cool in my head.
This would require. We've already established, I think, this. So I think now we'll include this as part of the dark inspiration, because you guys got the good side of the coin. You guys did not get
Yay!
Nice.
you guys did not get the predator side of the you got World Tree, not Fenrir.
Okay.
So yeah, you're able to put these, and you've got very tiny, clever hands, because
I have
you're very.
best tiny hands.
So you're
They
able to
all
get in
over,
there,
like the good massage hands.
and you're able to put the various inscriptions that you want to with the ink into the quartz to make it, and turn into a,
Oh no, I don't want to etch it. I want to do it magically. Like it's infused into the inside the crystal.
Okay, yeah, so you're able to How would that work?
I want to use my magic to. I'm like pulling from what Eno and Tanook are focusing on, and then I'm
Okay,
just
so you're
channeling.
harnessing there, and you're basically creating almost like an infusion
Mm-hmm.
type device.
And I want it to
Okay,
become
we're doing a magical sous vide, and
Yes.
and it's drawing the ink in.
Yes, and I want to use that, and I can write it however it physically manifests into the crystal.
And so you're basically turning this into an arcane ham radio.
Yes.
So you're able to draw that in using the energies that Eno and Thunuk have are creating and swirling and everything.
Exactly.
So you're just, and then just and you're able to bring it down into the crystal and create these internal inscriptions within there. Very three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Actually, no. I almost think would it be like one of those corporate like acrylic awards that you get.
It's all flat on
It's
one
all
side.
flat.
No.
Like, oh, it's in the middle. It's cool here. The problem is it wasn't cheap.
Nah. Now I imagine
Yeah,
music being personified into something has to.
Yeah, I want it to look a lot cooler than a stupid freaking corporate award. Hey, it's your Employee of the Year award. Here you go.
Yay.
Hey, cool. This is a bludgeon. Thank you.
This is your Kiss Ass of the Year award.
Mm-hmm.
I can cause harm with this.
Oh, 1d4 bludgeoning. Excellent.
Excellent.
If I ever get an award like that again, cool. 1d4 bludgeoning. What? Nothing. So, okay, absorbed in. You have the quartz.
Okay. Now I want to work on the metal book.
Yeah, and so now you're going to use your shocking grasp.
Yeah. Either whichever. If it needs to be more, pumped up wise, I'll use lightning bolt.
I don't think you touching a metal book casting lightning bolt is going to be wise. I think shocking grasp would probably be enough. Now
really
Hugon,
funny.
he'd be funny. But I think
it's more of just if I need it to be amplified, it's there. Should I need to increase the power of it?
I think
You're
that
gonna electrify the book and accidentally turn it into a super powerful magnet.
It's awesome.
And now
everything
it's
just
Bang.
voom, voom. Hey, you
Hugon.
gotta pull out your sword. Voom.
Everyone in the party is stuck to it because of their armor. Like, great, awesome,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is awesome. Yay.
No, it.
Stands up, walks around, no big deal.
Interesting.
Hey, look, it turns out we're playing Cat Mary Damacy.
I would totally play D&D
Just
Katamari.
roll around, and that's it. That's how the game ends. That's how the season ends. Just with a giant ball
D&D.
with Dren in the middle with her. Oops, I fucked up. Yeah, you're able to. I think for this, because of the energies that are being generated already, and because you drew this focus circle, that all you need basically is the electricity is going to act more as like a delivery method.
Okay,
a conduit.
all
Yeah.
I want is for same thing with like the crystal, but I
Mhm.
want it to. I'm keeping it in the margins. I don't want to screw with any of the text that's on the inside. I just
Mhm.
want it to be in the margins, and it gets written in the pages.
Okay, so you're able to do your shocking grasp on there. Now, as you do this, you go Tesla generator, and the hair just,
Oh yeah, I'm sure my hair is like absolute mess.
Yeah, it's big
Mhm.
and out. You have Monica hair right now.
Mhm.
For those of you who know that Friends reference. Anyway, we'll show you later. And you're able to the more of the writing and symbols that you have envisioned for this, that Thunuk is helping to point out, and the music is harmonizing, and it gets into the book. And so now you have, and as you do this, and as you complete it, the crystal actually like a piece of iron to lodestone, just like gets drawn right to it, and it just like embeds itself in the front cover of this book.
Okay.
And now you can feel that the quartz starts to grow a little faint pinkish, and now you feel that. And when this happens, and you hear like all of you hear like this audible snap, like when you have a thick rope that is drawn entirely too tight, and it eventually just goes. The tension just pulls it apart. It's never a tearing sound. It's just a loud cracking noise, very sudden, and you feel it, and you feel the repercussion. All of you feel it in your chest. If you've ever like a fireworks show when the really big one goes off, and you
Mhm.
can feel it right there in your sternum, like just basically acts as like a tuning fork and just resonates with it. But as you do that, Thunic and Eno, you actually feel all of the forces that you have been generating here. All of a sudden, it feels like this tension that you've had, that you've been holding, all of a sudden releases, and it like, and you feel like almost like this weight off of your shoulders and chest that you didn't even realize was there, as you were doing this, and almost like this tension on your minds as you were focusing this and your magics in a way that you have not focused before. And the book now is humming, barely audibly. And you could feel the vibration there, but it doesn't look like it's vibrating, but you could feel there's something about this book. And you feel like now, using this book, you could operate the gate and make sure, and you would be able to operate this and move to Sigil and hack the network, hack the world. You'd be able to hack the network and make this work, and get you to Sigil. It's like you have a new phone book almost that Thuna could use to dial out.
It's an area code.
Yeah, it's a new country code.
Oh,
Like, think about it. I mean, we don't even, man. It's like it's like a country code you haven't even thought about before. Like, I dial 44. No, man. It's a whole other thing. So
You had to dial Q.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
not even on. It's not even a standard number.
But
a kitty-shaped squiggly mark.
Yeah.
but now with this book,
Snail.
all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, the Q is there all along. Which Q is really if you just mash all the numbers at once. That's Q. It's not. But you figured out that you can. You think now that you can dial out and get to Sigil.
So do I attach this thing on there or just hold it or?
Someone would need to activate the book, and you think it's almost like a it would basically be a for this, someone would need to expend one level 1 spell slot.
Well, was the person who's activating the gate doing that, or is
It's whoever. It just needs to be nearby. It's like it's a wireless router essentially, hotspot.
Okay.
So, but it would have someone who has arcane ability would need to spend one level 1 spell slot, and basically it's the quartz you can see is act as like the toggle button, where
I've got lots of spells.
So you do that, and then when that happens, then it's like at that point, Thunuk, you'd be able to dial out to a whole new network.
Okay.
It's I'm trying to think of a real world equivalent, like dark webbing it,
It's
but
the
it's
ping.
not. Kind
You're
of.
pinging a server.
Yeah.
No, I
Server,
I
are you there?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was like if Thunuk had to be the one who held the book.
No,
and
it just
did the
has to
thing
be
at the same
nearby.
time, or okay.
No, because
Okay.
because when you do that, the book starts to actually vibrate again. But then the shadow gate itself, the rocks that make the shadow gate, they start to vibrate in harmony with it.
Mhm.
And that's what you think is activating a different set of instructions.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He's going to pick up the book and he's going to hit the button.
I pushed the button.
Push the button, and then he's going to hit. He's going to stop and realize I don't know what address to put in. And he's going to look rather plaintively at Drenmai because he's like, I don't know where this place is that we're going. I kind of need the address.
Hugon walks over and begins to put it
I
in.
point to Hugon.
And he
Hug-
points to this one, this one, this one, this one, and he just
Yeah. Let's do a quick survival check from Hugon just to make sure he remembers the proper.
16 on the dice. I think it's a 19,
And
20,
19.
20 total.
Yes. So
Hang on,
Hugon.
let me check D&D Beyond where it couldn't be easier.
It could not be easier.
Could not be easier.
Well, it could, but
I'm on my laptop, so I
It's okay.
actually log in.
That whole thing, internet, computers.
Hmm.
'Cause,
Hmm.
you know, 'cause,
Hmm.
internet, computers.
Hmm.
But I think with a 16, I think that's gonna be fine. That Hugon is able to
Okay.
remember. This, because from the you have that weird tired lucidity lucid recall. And he's able to. And so Hugon, you point the numbers out or the symbols out to Thunuk. Thunuk, you're able to, do your whole, close encounters of the third kind. But they do sound a little different as you're dialing. Everything feels a little different. And the portal opens. Now, usually the portal opens and it is a bluish. We've said it kind of has a bluish event horizon. Now it's a green event horizon.
As soon as the portal opens, Hugon walks through.
Okay.
Goodbye. Close his book. No, I'm just kidding.
Good game, everybody. Now,
I was actually hoping that would happen. I was legitimately hoping you'd do that, like just to see. Part of me was like, I hope she closes the portal as soon as I go in. I hope she does, but she didn't.
She did not.
So here we are.
Here we are.
The thought happened.
But I think this is actually a good place for us to take our break.
Yep.
So we will be back momentarily, in a few moments, to continue our Dungeons and Dragons game. So please stick around. You might see a few ads run during the break, and that's fine. It helps us make a few bucks. So we will be back in just a few moments. Stick around. hello. Oh shoot, that scared the hell out
You
of me.
pushed the wrong button.
No, I didn't.
What?
But
You.
my Dark Inspiration media was running, so as soon as we came back, there was a crack of thunder, and I immediately started looking around because I was like,
Oh.
"What the hell?"
Oh, that's right. You have to decrease your dark inspiration.
I did. Maybe I need to do it. Hang on.
Push the other button.
There we go. I took it down. There we go. That was. I forgot to save the file that does that. Okay, so it's down. I did take that down. Thank you very much. Okay, we are back with Dungeons and Dragons and Team X, and who's ready to go to Sigil? Well, I guess we've established Hugon already
Hugon
went
left.
there.
Hugon is very objective based.
Did the rest of the team just follow him, or is there going to be a whole thing?
No.
Do we just spend the next hour and a half of everyone deciding, oh, do we go? Because this is Dungeons and Dragons. It could take 3 hours to buy a beer, or we could blow through plot in 30 minutes.
Finnick doesn't know not to go through the door. That was the objective.
Yes.
He's just. Are you guys ready? Should we go? He's left without us.
And everyone goes through.
I would go last if we're going in any kind of
Yes.
thing.
Uh,
Wait, how does this look? Is this like we're jumping into like some void or?
It's just the same portal we always go
it's the
through.
same portal,
Green
except
now.
now
Okay.
the event horizon is taken on a greenish tinge.
Okay.
So the ride through is a little bumpier.
Okay.
Oh, goody.
But there's some turbulence, I guess would be the best way to describe this, because you're not using it for its intended purpose. This is not what the manufacturer had in mind when they made these. So, there's some compatibility issues probably, and this is essentially what the whole hack was for, right? Making
You need to update the firmware.
Yeah, exactly. You had to make the round peg go in the square hole somehow, so you finagled it. So it is a bit of a bumpier ride. Everyone give me a dexterity saving throw.
So are we in like a void?
Dex save.
No, I mean it's
Sort of like a void.
it's a brief moment of this existential stretchiness
Okay.
as you're traveling,
Oh boy.
and it's
So
it's cold.
So we didn't void the warranty then.
I hate it.
No,
Fired.
God, you set me up for that, and I didn't even see it. That was I should have
Like
seen
twice.
And you fell into it.
I stepped right into that pile of punny
You're a
doo-doo.
sucker. Pun sucker.
got 20.
Okay, you got a 20,
Dirty 20.
dirty 20,
Unnatural.
14.
14,
8.
8, Thunic, and Drenmai, 4.
4.
So, okay,
Nice.
what is that? So we knew Hugon came through first. What's the marching order here?
I'm last.
Last.
I would imagine that I took like a few seconds to like pack my
Yeah.
my drum back up and
Mm-hmm.
secure my stuff. Thunic, how quickly would you have followed Hugon through the portal?
I think as if he noticed everyone getting ready to go, he would have probably just gone right after him.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, I was third then.
So you were the penultimate person to go through this portal. Okay. So Hugon, you come out. There's a bit of a stumble.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like ejected out at a velocity faster than what you're used to. You had gotten, if you're used to riding on escalators, but then all of a sudden the escalator goes faster, the timing could be a little off. So, yeah, but you couple extra steps, but you stick the landing. Then Thunic, you basically come tumbling out of this thing. Like it's you were just unprepared for the speed of this, of how this was going to work. It's like you have it. It's overclocked. The portal is running faster probably than it needs to. Because it wasn't really meant to work with this other thing. So so you're kind of like you come tumbling out and land in a heap on the other side of this portal.
I have a question that
Yes.
may be a point of order. Did Hugon step out of the way?
Yeah.
Hugon did not stop moving.
Yeah. And
Okay.
he's still walking.
Okay. Also, we have a new stream boss, so each of us gets 2
Oh, that's
Nice.
true.
Thanks.
Let me add you guys. So you guys have
Ah, ah,
hang on, it's gonna take me a second here.
Give
but
me
it's
my
okay.
bling.
I'm giving you your stuff. You settle down over there, and he's up to no. That's the same number. We need a different number. And then
I think I have a whole bunch that I can use, and I
I
need
have
to
a
use.
lot.
I know. I'm very excited. I'm hoping I get into some bullshit and then I can do some real bullshit.
Yeah, the Sigil is not really a safe place to pull off bullshit because everybody's pulling off bullshit.
Exactly. That's why
Like
I
you've
wanna
got
pull off-
angels and demons getting into bar fights because their magic doesn't work here.
Exactly.
So
I'm excited.
You pack your things up, you go through the gate, and as you come out, you feel that you're able to adjust to the speed as it's coming through. So okay, I got to time my step a little bit differently. And as you come out, you're able to stick the landing, but then there's a huge heap of Thunic in front of you. So I need another dex save to see if you're able to dodge the Thunic.
Another dex save. That one is a 21.
You're able to deftly, however you would like to dodge the pile of Thunic in front of you.
As I emerge from the portal, I'm able to see like there's just a mess of arms and legs and I start turning as I come out and see this, and I do a cartwheel over them.
Oh, over top of them. Whoop.
Yeah. Like I do a cartwheel and then I end up on the other side of them.
And there's like the ever so tasteful flourish of the cloak.
Yeah. and my hood comes up over my as I do the cartwheel, the hood comes up over and I'm like, are you guys okay? Need a hand?
And then Drenmai, you're the last one to go through. You go through and you are bodily launched out of this like a human cannonball. So we've got the Thunic on the ground. We've got not Roz, Eno, who does his cartwheel, and then here comes airborne Dren, being launched out of this. Is anyone going to try to catch her?
Hugon just keeps
I can't
going.
believe you would even ask that.
Is anyone aside from Hugon going to try to catch her? Anyone not Hugon going to attempt to catch
Hugon
her?
is probably like 45 feet away now. Walking
Thunic
away.
is still trying to stand up.
Yeah, everyone's busy.
He's a
I
bit
imagine
discombobulated.
I'm cannonballing towards Hugon, basically.
I cast Mage Hand, and like it can only carry 10 pounds, but it tries to
It tries to decelerate her.
tries to decelerate her a little bit, and then
So I don't launch it at Hugon's back.
yeah, and I sort of jog to where I think she's going to land to see if I can catch her.
Perception check to see if you're able to determine the
All right.
parabola. I don't know what a geometry check would be, but I think my best bet would be perception.
Terrific. Damn. So that was 18 on the die. It's 21 total. Plus 3.
You're able to reel that pass in.
All right.
I wouldn't suggest spiking the football, but just
No.
got her.
Or just using all Mage Hand because I'm still bodily holding this metal book that's probably equal in size to almost me.
Yeah, so you're able to basically, it's like a football player, receiving the punt. Just, you call a fair catch, you got it, and so Drenmai, you're able to not.
And then if you're a certain kick return team, you hit the catcher anyway.
You do it anyway.
So I catch her and I'm like, oh, sorry, and I put her down and I step away.
But so you avoid having to take any flying damage. But you find yourselves now in.
I'm very dizzy.
It is a little disorienting because there is really no sky here in Sigil. Buildings built on top of buildings. Everything's packed in very, very tightly, narrow roadways, narrow alleyways. There's just a press of, I don't even want to say humanity, of just existence of this place. It is loud. There's constant hustle and bustle, and it is barely contained chaos. Just from, not chaos in the fact that it's like, oh, all hell is breaking loose, just with the amount of everything that is happening simultaneously. There is music. There's vendors and merchants yelling to people. There's people arguing on the corner. You could hear people arguing upstairs in the buildings. You think there might be a bar fight happening somewhere down. There's just the general crowd noises. There is a lot happening here, but no one seems to really react very much to you guys just sort of popping out of nowhere.
So are we like in a village?
Sigil is...
well, I'm just trying. Are we in like city? Are we in the outskirts?
It is nothing, as far as I understood it, Sigil is nothing but city.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where spatially we are. But we landed in some kind of
street.
A street. Okay.
Yes. It's basically, you look behind you and there is a door. There's nothing special about that door. It is just a door. Of approximate size of what the Shadow Gate was, but you come tumbling out and the door slams behind you. The vibration in the book dies back down to its normal baseline, just sort of running level, it's sleep mode.
I regain not being dizzy, I very much want to memorize this door.
Well, do an intelligence check.
Okay.
The first thing that Hugon does is he reaches into his pocket for a few gold coins and finds a semi-friendly looking entity.
To what end?
Hey, what ward is this? Who owns this sword?
Now you're asking me things that I don't know the answers to. All right, let me take a look here. I'm actually there right now. Give me a D6.
Okay. 2.
They look at you and it's a, let's see, who would you run into here? So, friendly looking entity. So you find a
keep in mind, friendly looking entity to a person with the sort of corroded iron mask, armor, and a halberd.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's all relative.
Yeah, it's all relative. I'm sure he doesn't look unfriendly to certain types, but
I'm just looking up something real quick here because
Planescape's a big ass book.
So the person, so you find this kind of surly looking dwarven-ish type character.
Dwarf adjacent, yeah.
Yeah, it's dwarf but with pointed ears.
Okay.
And you're not quite sure because there's a whole lot happening around you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. Here in Marketwood, sure. You're going to know the board.
I would like to roll to understand that. I would like to obviate or insight.
Get it?
Roll to comprehend.
Roll to comprehend.
Oh, that's a very good roll. That's a 20, dirty 20.
A dirty 20. And how did we determine that Hugon would have knowledge about Sigil?
Well, he researched it.
This is
that was
true.
one of his main.
That's
his,
true.
His main objective in Candlekeep was doing as much research as he possibly could about Sigil and its environs.
So, you know that something. You know that there's something known. It's what is it called? I'm looking it up again here.
It's like a cant, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Phoenix
It's just
cant,
known
but
as the
for Sigil.
cant. Yeah, it's the cant. It's basically that natives or natives, if anyone is actually, it's kind of like Florida. No one's actually from Florida. No one's actually from Sigil. They just sort of end up there. They
But Miami is a perpetual circus of arrivals and departures.
Yeah.
No one's a permanent resident.
Exactly. So you're able to kind of not interpret all of it, but as best as you could heard market word. As best as you can interpret from what you picked up
You
from the
cut
words.
out market what?
Market ward.
Market
You
ward.
asked which ward you were in.
Okay. And he passes a couple of coins to the guy and just keeps right on rolling.
Oh, good to him.
Have a good one, Burke.
I cast. So I can speak Infernal.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, kind of like on the listen for anybody speaking Infernal, but I also cast Tongues.
Mm-hmm.
On myself. And for an hour, it grants me the ability to understand any spoken language I hear, and when the target speaks. So when I speak, any creature that knows at least one language can hear me can understand what I say. So
Okay.
I'll
So
be able to understand what people
they
say, even
can't.
if they're. I cast that after I hear like this strange language, so I don't know if it'll count yet unless I hear it again.
Yeah, I think the next time you heard it, you would be able to. I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So you think you'd be able to understand it again? Yeah. Well,
Okay.
you will. I mean, you will be able to understand it because of your arcane nonsense there. So you find out, you're in the market ward. But as you're standing there, you had put Dren down. Again, people upon people, crowds upon crowds. Thunuk, you're able to get yourself back onto your feet, and you hear from somewhere in the crowd. You hear, "Girl, what are you doing? Are you trying to get yourself killed, Miss Drenmai? Why in the world would you do this, my lord?" And it's almost like you could see like a parting of the crowd. You're not seeing what it is, but the crowd is parting as something is making its way through. And this like gnarled knot of an old gnomish woman comes hobbling up. She's got a staff that's about 2 times as tall as she is. She comes walking up and she, a little hunched over, and you can hear the tap of this staff on the paving stones as she comes walking up. And people are getting out, and every now and again someone does get out of the way, and she's like, "Get out of my way, you big old gluten!" And she's like knocking people in the shins with the bottom, and they're moving out of the way and everything. And she goes, little miss, you got some splaining to do. My
I'm gonna
lord.
assume this is Grandmama.
This is Grandmama Gemweaver.
Okay. Oh boy. Oh, by the way, dirty 20 on memorizing the door.
Okay.
How am I? Let's see. Is Eno the only one that's around me currently?
Well, he's the one who put you down. Thunuk was able to get himself to his feet, so whether he was trying to get over to you is up to him. And then I know Hugon was off talking to the dwarf adjacent fellow.
Okay.
To find out where they were.
I'll kind of look around and be like, "Hey, Grandmama, came for a visit."
Yeah, I'm sure that's what you came for. We best get you all, you and all your friends. We best get all you off the streets here. It ain't safe, and you know it.
How'd you know I was coming?
Girl, you make more noise than a capybara marching through a dried out forest. I could hear you coming from miles away, and if I heard you coming, that means everyone else heard you coming. You and all you, God.
And you're still not allowed in Sigil after the last time.
It's just like you. I taught you better than that, and you make all noise coming in here doing like that.
It was just the spell kind of was a little tougher than I thought.
Oh,
Than last.
child, it wasn't just a spell. Here, this. I've been hearing you coming for months.
All right, Grandmama, lead the way.
Oh, where's your big friend?
He's Sanook.
He's wandered off in the direction of tasty smells.
Oh no. Do I have to investigate where he went?
Well, you could see. It's possible. I mean, he's taller than. There's not a lot of Fearbog happening here.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm short, so I see knees probably. I'll look for like the hairiest knees that I
The
can.
hairiest knees I can find.
So congratulations, you've found a bearded devil.
Yes.
You do find a minotaur.
Too hairy.
No, less hairy.
Less hairy. I'm like petting as I go along. No. Ah, haha, there it is.
So you find him. And as you're doing this, you are noticing. So like the city is got like this weird curve where you look up and all you see is more city.
Yeah.
And it's a little. It makes you a little dizzy, especially you, Thanuk.
I was about to say
Because
I've been here before, so I'm probably slightly used to it.
This is a geometry you're not used to.
So up is just more city.
Yeah.
Picture like a tube, and every surface is structures.
So here's something I kind of looked up Sigil. It's something what wasn't explained to me entirely. Is Sigil on the inside of the torus?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's on the inside.
On the inside, and there's an open part in the middle, but nothing's built as far as when I'm looking at this. Yeah.
You're looking at a hollow donut, and we're on the inside of the hollow donut.
Yeah.
Thunuk looks up, expecting to see sky, only sees more houses, people. Has an existential crisis and starts freaking out.
Panicking. Oh no.
Yes.
There's no sky. There's no sky. There's no sky. There's no sky.
Okay.
Why is there no sky? This isn't like a cave. This is somehow worse.
Yeah, immediately I'm buying everything that I possibly can that was smelling good that he was going for food-wise and trying to like place it in front of him to comfort him. just focus on, like don't worry. There is a sky. There's not really a sky.
It's just more ground.
It's
not even ceiling like a cave. It's just more ground.
But think of how much you love ground. That now you just have that much more ground.
Do I dig here and come out there?
Don't dig.
What happens if you dig?
It's okay, but
You find the things that live under the street.
Yeah. Let's eat. Eating's
Hugon is not
good.
there to say that, but like that's exactly what you'll find.
If you've ever seen a dazed person who's like slowly putting food in their mouth, and everything around is now has a new layer of like frightening reality to him that like.
And not only are you stuck in a city, but you're stuck in a filthy, crowded.
It's not and there's no plant life. From what I remember of Sigil, there's no plant life at all.
There is no
none,
plant
except
life.
for like a really invasive weed that is like razor.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that grows in Sigil.
I would imagine that Thunuk probably feels very empty at the moment.
And Eno's standing behind Drenmai, and after she explains that, he says, "If everywhere is the ground, then we're the sky. Can you dig it?"
It's going.
His eyes get even wider, and he's like, he puts food in his mouth, but it's like.
I think it falls out.
It's sort of like shaving food with this bottom row of his teeth, and it just sort of sits there and goes. Plum. He might be on the verge of hyperventilating. You can't tell.
I need him to have. So I'm gonna cast creation, and I just want to make like a shrubbery. Just.
You're gonna make a shrubbery. It's gonna last 5 minutes, and it's gonna die, and he's gonna lose his mind.
It's okay.
It's gonna be the best. Don't do it. Do it.
Because I'm curious if because this is pulling from Shadowfell is how creation works. So I'm wondering if it'll like negate because it's not actually a plant. It's a shadow material plant, but it looks like a plant, and it'll make him feel better.
I think I think we'd have to still go by the same rules that plant material lasts however long plant material lasts with.
Oh well, it's a day. if I can have vegetable matter for a day. So he'll have it for a day, but maybe it'll be that transition period.
like a little ugly bonsai tree.
Yeah, I want
and then it'll die.
A little shrubbery, and I'll do the creation spell. Hold on, I gotta cast it so I remember I did it. And then so it'll last for, and I'll put it in front of Thanuk, be like, here, just keep this with you.
So as you did this, it felt like where your magic usually happens normally, it felt like you were trying to pull it through mud.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
And what you come up with is like a nightmare version of if bonsai had a nightmare spider equivalent, that is the bonsai tree that you made, where if a tree can look malevolent,
like if a tree fucked Satan.
If a tree could look simultaneously murderous, malevolent, and just like it hates you. This is
Australian.
Just existence.
Like an Australian tree.
We actually have this bush here. We have this tree and this bush in Florida.
Yes, you do.
If it catches fire, everything downwind of it either dies or is in extreme pain.
Yes. But it's okay, because Thanuk doesn't care about the looks of things. It's just something that's organic, adjacent.
It might be a little drippy in places. It's dripping like malevolent sap, and it's just
he holds it and he speaks to it with the speech of beast and leaf, and he's like, "Hi, don't worry, little friend, we'll be safe. This place is..."
And this doesn't mean that it can't talk back to you, right? It's just that it can understand.
No, it's not that. It can communicate in its shrubby way, and he has to interpret it as best as he can.
Sees what Dren's going for, and he casts Prestidigitation and makes it look more green.
Make it look pretty.
Yeah, I just try to make it look more green.
And the only thing that comes, that almost like when you do that, like a wave comes off of it, like, I fucking hate you. I'm gonna kill you when you sleep, you little fucker. I mean, it doesn't actually say that. It's more of a feeling.
Yeah. He interprets this as like a that reaction of a dog who is severely frightened and bites the person who's trying to, that they know and love, but they bite them anyway because they're that afraid.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he interprets it, and he just sort of like holds it a little bit closer, and it's like, "That's all right, we're safe."
Claws at you like
together. I won't let anything happen to you.
Hate you.
I'm gonna do it to you. That's why.
Existence is pain.
So, but as you do that, Grandmama she like whacks you with the end of her staff, like just bonk. Girl, what are you? What did I tell you about doing that around here? You cannot do that. We got to get off the street now. Get the one with the get the angry one over here, because we got to get all you off the street before they come looking for you.
Lasso. Yeah. No.
Good luck.
I know.
Because he is not in sight. He is long gone.
Where did Hugon wander off to?
Where did Hugon wander off?
Where did Hugon wander off to? You have no idea.
Oh no. Okay.
But the dungeon master is asking.
Hugon is looking for...
I know all.
Hugon is looking for very specific things to buy. Very specific.
Mm-hmm. What specific things would these be?
He needs to buy blood.
The spice. Buy blood?
He needs to buy blood.
Blood.
Yep.
Any old blood?
Any old blood?
No, he needs to buy very specific blood. He needs to buy lawful blood.
The blood of an innocent?
The blood of a a lawfully aligned entity.
Okie dokie. So is he asking around?
Yeah. Where can a Burke buy some blood?
So let's start doing an investigation check on that.
Sure. Dirty 20?
Dirty
Knocks on a
20.
random door. Can you spare a couple?
Well, I mean, like, I'm assuming this is a market district. There are market
It is.
stalls.
Oh, yeah.
There are,
There are
yeah.
bazaars. There are squares.
So you're able to start. I mean, you're able to figure out that right now you're kind of like in the food district of the market district, the food quarter,
Yeah, the food market.
precinct, the food precinct of the and there's probably several of these. And by asking around, you're able to kind of suss out for the ones that will answer you, and the ones who do answer you, and you're able to figure out kind of what they're saying through the cant, is that you would need to find the medical precinct.
Okay. Off we go.
Where actually they call it the health and wellness precinct, and that's where you would need to go. But as you're asking around, this crowd starts parting behind you, and here comes this little gnarled gnomish woman with a staff. It's kind of like this old piece of like blackthorn. It's twice as high as she is, and behind her you have Drenmine, you've got Eno, and you've got Thunuk, who's just looking absolutely. He's having an existential crisis. It's just obvious at this point, with quite possibly the meanest looking plant that you've ever seen. You're not entirely sure that it's not carnivorous. But she comes walking up to you, and she kind of gives you like a little tap on the foot, and she goes, "We better get you off the street, boy."
Hugon's mask glows white hot and looks down at all of them and says, "I'm busy. I'll give Hugon back in a minute."
And
then
Grandmama
walks
looks at
off.
you, and well, no, before you do it, Grandmama just goes, "Oh, hush," and the mask just and it just goes inert. She's like, "Your friend's kind of rude," and she's talking to you, Hugon. She's like, "Your friend is a little rude."
We're not friends.
Good. We've got to get you off the street. He can come back later. He's gonna come with you. He'll come back later, but he's about to get you into trouble.
No. And then he continues to walk.
I don't think your friend understands quite what he is right now.
Oh, when it comes to Hugon, sometimes it's best to let him do his thing.
Unfortunately, the thing might do it to him this time.
We should keep a distance until he's done, because then if he gets caught, he's the only one.
So she starts to lead you off, and go, all right, well, that boy's gonna do what he's gonna do. So, so Hugon, you just go wandering off towards
Going directly to the medical precinct.
the health and wellness precinct.
Hugon's got things to do.
He's got a plan. So it takes you probably about an hour to work your way and wend your way through. And actually, give me a survival check for navigational purposes.
It's a 19.
Yeah, you're able to.
6 is 19.
Yeah, you're able to work your way around the various streets and alleys. There is no straight road to anywhere. Like, no road goes for more than a few blocks before it makes a turn or dead ends or and alleys and.
There's no grid.
No, there is. This is not a planned city. This is like old London.
Yeah.
Where, there's a reason why there's only certain people who can be cabbies in London.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you would not be able to drive anywhere. And so you're able to finally wander, and it's like you wander through the iron precinct, which appears to be smithies and armorers and weaponry. There's the perfume precinct, which seems to be mostly apothecaries and various herbs and spices, mundane and otherwise. And finally you start, and you can see there's almost like color-coded signs that aren't necessarily in any like a specific language. It's more of just like a symbol that once you see, like, oh, I get it, that's what that one is, that's what that one is. And you eventually find yourself in the health and wellness district. contrary to its name, it seems that most of the shops here are selling the remains of things. Like, there's one shop you walk past, and it's got a whole bunch of arms hanging in the front window of various races and species. There's one that appears to be if you were to go to there appears to be an eye store for servicing all of your eyeball needs.
Right. Yeah.
Large and small.
This is why necromancers like Sigil so much.
But there is you are able to find what looks to be some kind of financial institution that you think might be where you need to go. And it appears to be the blood bank. So you need to, this appears to be where you would need to do the business that you were looking to do.
Well, Hugon will go forth, and if he has to wait in line to do business, then so be it. He will submit to this bureaucratic process.
So you walk inside, and it is, I mean, all the buildings in Sigil are old. So there's a mustiness to it that also has the mix-in of old coffee and old tobacco. If you've ever walked into any old building, there's a smell to it that just exists, and it's the same smell in every old building, like an old church almost. That where people used to be allowed to smoke. And there is a bit of a line behind some velvet ropes, and people are working their way through, and you're able to, and you finally get to one of the tellers. It's basically behind, it's like an old bank where it's like the caged, it's like a polished granite everywhere. Very narrow in space. So it's not like there's only like 3 tellers there. It's not like you've got a big wide open space. And you almost feel unconsciously like you have to shrug your shoulders when you're in there, just from the people and everything.
Press, yeah.
And
well, I mean, a person would feel like that. I think Hugon just accepts that and then ignores it and then occupies as much space as he wants.
He does the wide
he
sit.
Poses.
Warrior pose. And
Warrior one.
And you finally work your way up to like one of the cages, and it's got like this, it looks almost like a bronze cage in front of it where you can speak to the teller on the other side. And it's this well-dressed, very pale looking goblin with deep black eyes.
Okay.
And how may we be of assistance today?
Hugon takes off his mask and puts it on the counter. He's like, I need enough blood to submerge this. And it has to be a very specific kind of blood.
What vintage are you looking for? I have an excellent 86. A wonderful summer.
Something very, very lawful.
Very lawful. Ooh. Is there a...
Not good. Lawful.
Lawful. Is there... specific species you're looking for? Or shall I ask this is good budget? Or is money not a concern?
Let's say that money's not an object.
Oh, my favorite kind of...
Let's just say that. Let's start there.
Let's start there. Is there a specific species you're looking for?
Straddling the line between good and evil. Too evil doesn't work too well. Too good doesn't work at all. You get me?
I think we need to call in a specialist for that. If you could wait a moment, I can have you... I think we need to... We'll bring you around back, and we'll have you do a private tasting.
Great.
So he directs you to like this cramped little couch that, while it might look opulent, it's basically threadbare. They haven't given it much attention. And when you sit there, it has this kind of vague moistness to it. When you sit into it, you're not sure. Maybe something sweaty was sitting there before. Couple more minutes, and then a door opens and and someone waves you back, and they take you like further down this dark, barely lit hallway into a room that's very deep burgundy red.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a very simple table sitting there. They've got the wine bottle with a candle burning in the top of the wine bottle there, and you see it is a drow, very well dressed drow, and he's got a wooden box, looks very much like a tea caddy. And so the goblin shows you in and helps you to your seat, and then leaves, and the door closes, and then the drow says, "So I hear that money is no object, and you are looking for a very specific kind of blood."
Yes.
Ah.
Now I want to clarify. Money comes in a lot of different forms.
I accept all kinds of payments.
Delightful. Mithril will do then, I suspect.
Oh, Mithril will be just fine. Yeah.
Delightful.
Yeah, I think we can make that work.
Okay, nefarious Thomas.
I was thinking the same.
I hate this accent so much right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm nefarious Thomas.
Allow me to show you what I have. And my dog hates it too. And he opens up the this box, and it like you hear a slight tinkling of glass vials as it opens, and it's this like pyramided display of vials, little glass test tubes.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, once again, we have to ask: is it a matter of what species, or are you just asking for how a person, how a creature, an entity, did their life? How they lived?
It's more important. The higher the potency that we can get, better.
Ah, so the manner of death. So the manner of death would probably play into this equation.
Possibly. It's gonna need to be necessarily clean.
Oh, of course. We only deal in clean product here.
Of course, but
I wouldn't want to get dirty with you.
this is hard to do, Brian. You're making this difficult. I suppose this is payback for the rock. So Hugon essentially, he looks through the line and he basically just finds the strongest stuff.
So as he's showing you the different kinds and he's describing you the different characteristics of all the different versions out there that he has, the different vintages and varietals and
right,
whatnot. He recommends that you, if you're looking for potency for something lawful, he directs you towards blood that was probably voluntarily received, as opposed to forcibly or accidentally acquired.
Mopped up.
We get our blood every way we can, and he's able to point you in the direction of a lovely 20-year-old vintage that came from a what did it come from? I'm trying to think of an appropriate creature here that would make a lot of sense. Because they got rid of a lot of the alignments in the monster manual.
They did. It's true.
This used to be a lot easier. This game, it's a 20-year-old, 25-year-old vintage from a no, it wouldn't be from that. It would come from a griffin.
It'll do.
And he says, but it sounds like the quantity you need is going to be more than what's in this. If you're looking to submerge an object.
And he gestures to the mask, which is big enough to cover his face.
Mhm.
And he's like, "This is what needs to drink."
I believe if we did about 2 pints, that should be enough.
Certainly. And then he hold. The mithril weapons we got like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
The gifts?
Uh-huh.
He just hands that over.
Ah, this is very, very nice.
Nice enough for 2 pints?
That should cover the cost of 2 pints, but you still need to pay the tax.
Which is?
A single drop of your own blood.
Oh, of course. Or would you like different blood?
Oh, no. For the tax,
he
it must
taps
be...
them. Okay, I was
it
going to say,
must
because
be-
if you want, he taps the mask. He's like,
that
this
is a different stuff. Are you also in acquisitions?
What?
We're always looking to buy.
Not this body, no.
No, I mean, that would be more donation. I'm saying if you're in acquisitions, if you happen to be a seller,
Oh,
we could possibly work something out.
certainly. You'd need a way to extract it from metal, but
No. I'm not saying. I think you're missing 5 points, my dear boy. Oh, never mind. We don't worry about that. And he brings out like a little kit from underneath the table, and it's like a little tiny little apothecary bottle, and a little, a little needle, and you can see he like has a little thing that looks like it smells like rubbing alcohol, and he dips it in there, and he's like, "Finger, please." And he just a little squeeze, and he gets a drop of the blood, corks it. Then he takes a little bit of sealing wax, puts it over the candle, and he seals it. And then he like stamps he has a little stamp and stamps the top of it, and then puts it away in his kit, in his little
holsters it.
for later. And he goes, "If you'd like to wait out front, we shall deliver your order to you."
Delightful.
Right. It was a pleasure doing business with you. Come back anytime.
I probably will be here several times.
I look forward to seeing you again. And wait for a few
I'm
more
just going to
minutes.
call him Thomas or Tomas.
I think he can be Tomas.
He's Tomas.
Tomas
Nefarious Tomas.
the Drow. And and so you go out, and they deliver to you a wooden box, and they show you, and they open it, and nestled inside are 2, it looks like, wine bottles, each one a pint of blood, and you can see it's got the vintage and the species, the manner of acquisition. It's got all like the details on there, a little serial number on there, and each one is signed by Thomas at the bottom there. And they close that, and they put a little lock, and they hand you a key for it, so that way only you can you have the key for it. And now you have your box of blood.
Delightful.
Yes.
The next thing that Hugon would like to buy, and we can come back to this later, is a silver bowl.
No, I'm interested in Hugon shopping. This is fun, so please by all means keep going.
Hugon goes shopping.
Yeah, I need a Hugon shopping like montage.
Yeah.
Shopping montage.
You
Yeah,
skip
for that, I
along
don't think
the
we need to
light
do.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a silver bowl big enough to hold. The
Yeah, I
mask.
think that wouldn't be very difficult to find. And if you're busy, and you probably, between the mithril weapons and the little bit of coinage you have on your, silver bowl is not going to be difficult to come by.
No.
Yeah, but it's be more of like the like Devil Wears Prada montage, whereas he's like, oh when I see.
I'm not familiar with that film, so I don't know.
It's a good movie, and the boyfriend's the real villain. But anyway, the
Spoiler.
Wow, I wasn't planning on seeing it, but good to know.
Spoiler alert.
Anyway, so yeah, you're able to find your silver bowl. That's not gonna be difficult to find. That's not as arcane or difficult. You could basically find any like silversmith that's gonna be able to put that together, or pottery store, and these things are not difficult to come by.
So once, hang on, my camera.
Yes.
Once the bowl and the blood are acquired, Hugon finds a quiet, private room.
That's more difficult to come by.
Which is more difficult, I know. Or at least space where he can do what he needs to do, and that's just to have where he's not being bumped around constantly and nobody's going to kick or knock this shit over.
The best you can figure is that there's really no place outside, because even when you try to find like an abandoned alley, there's no such thing in Sigil.
Yeah, there's no such thing. It's
Um,
always got people in it.
people doing any number of things in these alleys,
Hmm.
good, bad, indifferent. You think it
Morally ambiguous.
across the spectrum, you think your best bet would be to rent a room, to find lodging to do this in, of which you can find there's several places of various and varying pricing. Anywhere from like luxurious apartments that you can rent, to places that rent by the hour for travelers.
He'll find an hourly.
Mhm.
He just needs just a very brief amount of time.
Okay. So you go in, again, behind a cage, but not nice cage this time. This is more like cage for protection, where,
Mhm.
you do your
Yeah.
bartering. The place immediately it smells like old piss. It's just not,
Hugon's
That-
been in soldier camps, so like that.
Yeah.
It probably
um,
smells like home.
yeah, this is not a pleasant place. So they get this gruff and beleaguered innkeep shows you, like, shambles through the hallways and shows you to a tiny ass, you guess it might be a room.
It's probably a closet.
Monk cells have probably been more spacious and well appointed. It's basically a wooden slat for a bed. There's a mattress on it that with stains
Composed entirely of parasites, probably.
and stains of questionable origin.
Of course.
And there's like there's not even a window. This is like an interior wall somewhere. It's just basically you have like this room. There's a dilapidated old lamp that he just sort of points at, grunts, and leaves you alone in your space.
Okay. Immediately upon having the door shut, Hugon proceeds to a flat surface, like
Okay. The floor.
something that he can. The floor.
It's the floor,
Sets the
or it's
bowl
the or
down.
it's the wooden thing for the bed where you'd have to remove
No,
the
no, no,
mattress.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Puts the bowl on the floor.
The bed
puts
is not
the mask.
lawful.
The bed is not lawful.
It is not
It is
lawful.
poorly adjusted. It's chaotically built. The carpenter was clearly a chaos tech. He puts the bowl on the floor, the mask in the bowl, and then upends the pints of blood,
Okay.
and then waits. And as he waits, the mask absorbs all of the blood and changes from metal, like gray corroded metal, to a more like almost black red muscly substance.
Ew.
And he says, finally. And he puts it on.
And just sort of like,
And it binds to his face.
oh, so it's like the mask goes on, and then it's like almost like these ligament-looking
it's
tendrils.
like a
It's like
living thing.
venom.
Yeah, it's like a
venom.
living thing.
Blah.
Just so it's these ligament-looking tendrils, kind of like around the back of the head and everything, and it's actually like starting to implant. And oh my god. Ugh.
I'm not appreciating any of this.
And then he just leaves. He leaves the bowl, leaves the boxes, leaves the empty bottles, and just heads right back out.
Okay. So we're now going to go to Grandmama Gemweaver because that was gross.
She's the best.
She's quickly like leads you through the crowds and everything to the to a storefront, which is this narrow little thing, and it just says Gemweaver Goods and Sundries. And you walk in, and it has the appearance of a bakery.
Okay.
But you know that it's a front.
Bakery front.
In that there are, you know that there's the workshops beneath, where things are artificed, things are made to order. entirely a custom-made business, but generally it's also by referral only. So there is like money being made. There is a baking staff. There is bread being made, and Thunuk, it smells wonderful. And
He finds all that very comforting.
yes. Oh, it is very. It is. It smells. You walk in, and it smells like what a grandmother's kitchen should smell like. It smells like yeast and sugar and brown sugar and molasses and chocolate and vanilla, and I always
long as it's
associate
artificial.
almond extract as well. But
As long as this is not proven to be an artifice to him, he may start calming down.
no. It's actual baked goods that are available for sale. There's nothing fake about that. But she leads you through the front part of the bakery where there's a line. There's a crowd of people who are trying to buy their baked goods, their croissant and their croissant and cookies and cakes and eclairs and all the fun things that you see on British Baking Show and all it's there. I mean, this is like a legit bakery. But then she leads you through like a little around the counter. And there's like that little double that double like swinging door that's kind of like mounted halfway. Where you can see underneath, you can see over top. She doesn't even need to. I mean, it's her staff that opens the thing. She just passes right underneath it. But you're able to work your way through, and she takes you through the bakery where all the stone ovens are busy baking various things, and sometimes you hear some sizzling from you don't know what, but butter. There is the smell of sizzling butter because butter.
Can't have a bakery without butter.
No. And she takes you then to her office in the back, and then she you could see she taps something on her desk with her staff, and like one of the panels in the floor opens up, and she starts leading you down these stairs into the workshop beneath. And finally, once you are all underneath and the thing closes, she finally rounds in and she goes, "What the hell are you up to, girl?"
No. 1 second, Grandmama. I want to test intercom. Test thing. Do I hear it on Thanuks or Enos?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get that little squelch, that little that little feedback from being too close.
Then if I get any kind of response, I'll click. I'll be like, "You got it, you done." No response.
0 response.
Okay. I'll leave it. Then
The book coughs. I'm not a mimic.
the book cost.
Rip.
I'm not a mimic. I'm your wife.
I'm not sure I want to be that anymore.
I'll put the whole lay down on Grandmama. I'll be like, this is a long story. I don't think I want to go into it all. I'll spew it all out and be like, so we need your help, Grandma.
Y'all went and kicked a hornet's nest, and when they came out, you went and then kicked another hornet's nest.
Pretty much. And we kind of came here because, stuff, and I was just kind of hoping that... I almost like how my draw came out a little bit there. It's like almost like when you go back home, you start talking like your family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The accent comes out.
The accent comes out a little bit. A little bit will come out of Dren, and you're like, so doing like this kind of thing. Do you think you could just help us out a little, Grandmama? Also, I'm really hungry, and I'm sure he's hungry, and I don't know if Eno ever eats, but he might be hungry. And
Well, I mean, of course I'm gonna feed y'all. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know.
Feed y'all poison? Haha. No. Kidding.
I don't turn down kin. But I don't know if you know what you have stirred up.
probably
All
not
of
Eno,
you,
Grandma.
all y'all. I don't. And your friend with the mask, he's got some issues he's got to work through. I don't know. Y'all got problems.
I'm trying to work with him. He's really uptight. You know, there's a stick shoved up somewhere, and I try and help him.
And also, he hates you. And
Yeah.
Also, friends, and also he doesn't trust you.
Well, have you been playing? Have you been acting your normal wild self with him?
I mean, yeah, and I'm trying
Well,
to be...
no wonder you chopped a wild hair into his pants, and you're expecting him to want to like you.
I don't want him to like me so much as...
You're lucky he hasn't killed you.
It's possible. He can't kill me. Don't worry. He's a teddy bear. It's fine. I love that you guys not here.
I'm fine with it too.
I know.
Do you say that out loud that you love that he's not here?
She has no internal monologue.
Yeah, I have no internal monologue, so it's all
Okay.
it's all out. I like, you know, I've given him presents and food
False.
and try and get him to loosen up.
False.
And she
It's
just
like the
cocks,
lying cat.
and she just
Actually,
cocks an
most of
eyebrow
that's
at you.
true.
Uh-huh. Well, bless your heart. Well, all right, come with me. We got to talk more in detail about this. And so she starts leading you through the workshop, and there's other gnomes. And you hear like there's the sound of hammers on metal. You hear the sound. It sounds like welding. You know, and you see like random out of some of the workshops. So it's like a big wide open space underneath this. There's support pillars holding up the building above it. But you can see all different workstations and like venting hoods and work tables and all sorts of tools everywhere. And there's like basically a pile of scrap parts that's probably as tall as Thunic in the one corner. And you see one of the gnomes kind of burrow out from underneath it with like some parts that they're looking for, just covered head to toe in grease and oil and soot and dirt and just whatever. In the one corner there is a brief green explosion to but they were wearing their goggles. It's fine. They're good. But there's a lot happening here. And so she takes you into like her workshop in the back and shuts the door and like there's really no place to sit. So you can sit wherever you want. So she just basically, has her staff and she sits down and just, you can hear the knees crunch a little bit as she crack and pop as she sits down. She's old, just old joints. And she sits down. She goes, all right, what do y'all need?
Let's see. We specifically came here for... You needed book info,
Well, that was at the library.
That's right. Let's see.
What were we coming here to help Hugon?
Mostly, I think.
Was that what it was? The player is trying to remember. I remember the whole bit about you had your grandmother here.
Okay, DM. Besides helping Hugon, why are we here?
Yeah, we don't remember.
I know exactly why I'm here.
Yeah, we know why you're here.
to put on a flesh mask.
Yeah.
Why did we originally say no? Because it was, you knew that Grandma had info. I'm trying to think back of when we originally discussed this. This was going back towards the
storylines are melding.
They are everything's starting to coalesce, and it's been a while. And this is what happens when you have almost 3 seasons. Let's see. You guys were trying to find out. It was after you came back from the Shadowfell, and what were you trying to find out? It was about one of the baddies. Right.
So it was after the battle for
after the Battle of Pinedale.
Pinedale, right.
Was the
decision after that.
It was made to go to Sigil because Grandmama Gemweaver had information about...
I will remember this at some point.
Well, everybody stand by while we go back and watch every episode we
Yeah,
did so we can figure
go-
this out. We'll be right back.
Go deal with Hugon for a minute.
Okay, we'll go
and-
deal with Hugon as people try to
I
figure
like
this out.
how I'm the only one who remembers why I'm here. And
We get distracted. It was searching information. I'm just trying to remember which one, and I don't want to say too much in case it's something I haven't revealed yet, because then it's like, oh, good, spoiler. All right, so Hugon, you leave this hourly motel place with now a muscly-looking flesh mask on.
it still has the general shape and configuration of the old metal mask. It's
Yes.
just now it moves and occasionally pretends it has a heartbeat now.
There's an occasional throb.
There's occasionally it pulses.
Super gross. Don't like it.
Some doesn't, generally.
How do you feel with your new flesh mask?
Delighted. Whole.
Oh.
Awake.
Ah.
You know, as physical as can be had here
Mm-hmm.
in this place,
Mhm.
under the very certain strictures that Sigil has.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's ways to circumvent the rules, and having just done so, it feels pretty
Yeah.
good.
I mean, the big rule is no big conflict.
No big conflict.
Yeah.
Right. No
Yeah.
teleportation, and
Yeah.
no divine magic, and no gods, and no worshiping the Lady of Pain.
Mm-hmm. None of it.
Actually, if you just see the Lady of Pain, just go the other way. Try to get out of her way as quickly as possible.
But what is your aim now? So you leave into the streets. You almost feel like you can sense the heartbeat of the people around you.
We're now looking for a very specific faction of anarchists and problem causers called the Chaos Attacks.
The Chaos Attacks.
Yes.
Tell me more about the Chaos Attacks.
The Chaos Attacks are from a Planescape, the book,
Okay.
Manual of the Planes, and they are one of the factions of Sigil, and they are generally noted to be involved with the breakdown of order as a concept.
Okay.
Like, they are against not necessarily the government of Sigil, because there isn't one.
Mm-hmm.
They are against law and against rules and against, anything that promotes order. And I want to find them.
Let's do an investigation check.
Okay. That's 21. No, 22.
22. So you're able to your instinct is usually to check a bar. Typically where meeting places are. To find information where meeting places are, 'cause it's a place very easily for people to meet inconspicuously, because why do people meet each other in bars all the time? None of this is like, oh God, what are they doing at this bar? So after spending a little bit of time listening, and I would imagine it would be times where you would like be walking into a bar and it would be almost like this uncomfortable, unblinking stare at people as you're like looking for whatever or listening, and it's completely, you don't feel the least bit conscientious about it. It's just you're standing there staring, looming. Some people care, some people don't. But you do get whiff of where you might be able to find where some of them have met in the past. And you're able to find your way to a tavern of this tavern is a dive. It's down an alley, and then down the alley is it's a dark alley, and it's down a flight of steps, right, to go into the bar. But it's like when you go down those steps, that's actually like that is like a basement level of like renegade stores.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, fuck it, we're not going to get any kind of credentialing or licensing. We're just opening a store.
We're setting up shop here.
Yeah, and then it's actually the bar is beneath that.
Okay.
And to call it a speakeasy would be very, very generous.
Right.
It's very much just people hanging around where there is a lot of alcohol from wherever, and there's no real bartender.
You just get what you get.
You get what you get. Not surprised that you come in, you see a fight breaking up over who gets control over the tap of one of the kegs, and but yeah, you see a bunch of ragamuffins, reprobates, and ne'er-do-wells.
Good.
Just from first appearance, sitting, talking and shouting and doing all the, if we're gonna get real stereotypical, two of them are arm wrestling, with over candles.
Someone's playing a piano.
Yeah. Someone's playing a really out of tune piano. Huh?
Just towards this side. Big old stove in their mouth.
It's like clank, 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 clank.
Something awful had happened to that piano before it was brought in there. It's like you have to work hard to keep it that out of tune. Like it would accidentally get in tune, but it does not. And it's poorly lit. Smells like a combination of urine and vomit, sweat, blood. Violence happens here. But generally people are also happy because this is what they want. And so, yeah.
Well, let's find ourselves a anarchist.
Let's do another investigation check. Or no, this would be more of a perception check, I think.
Okay.
To see.
I'll spend a thing to get advantage on it then.
I'll see you and I'll raise you. All right, so that's going to be...
Oh, that was a perfect advantage call because I just rolled a natural 20.
Oh, very good. I'm very happy for you.
That's a 23 total.
By looking around the room, you do see that there does appear to be a series of tattoos that people use to identify that you're able to kind of figure out, like, there's actually some interpretation to be done there, much like Russian bratva tattoos.
Yeah.
Everything means something, and you're able to pick out the ones that actually signify people who might be a part of this faction. And you see that, and it seems like there's actually a ranking mechanism that goes with it. There is a pecking order, not necessarily a formal hierarchy, but there is a pecking order. And the one that appears to be at the top of this pecking order is a large reddish black minotaur smoking a stogie the size of your arm. This thing is probably about as tall as Thunuk.
Okay.
And it's just a mountain of solid muscle. The only thing that doesn't look bedraggled on it are the horns. His horns appear to be polished and shined and sharpened, that they could almost be metallic. But there are scars, battle scars, all over this heaping mass of muscle.
Hugon grabs like 3 or 4 bottles in like one hand, like does like the between the fingers the drill, and just walks right up to the table and plops them down.
And he just looks at you through a puff of smoke. Doesn't say anything. He's sort of kicked back in his chair a little bit. He's got the cigar, and he's just in his mouth, and he looks at you, but he doesn't look at the bottles. Doesn't really show any emotion whatsoever. Just a big cloud of smoke, and says nothing.
I'm aiming to cause trouble and break rules and ruin the dreams of a god. And I think that your faction can help me. help ruin a cosmic order. And the mask quivers, like, very unpleasantly, like a starfish.
In anticipation.
Like it, like sort of lifts off the face and then grabs it again.
Ah.
Yeah.
The
And really,
corner-
it's not like Hugon's jaw isn't really moving. It's literally the mask.
And he says, "You certainly aim high."
I do. And he tips over one of the bottles, just for fun.
And at that, you get like a smirk. Well, I don't work with anyone and won't drink with me.
Oh, you can have whatever bottle you want.
And he grabs them both, and he just like basically double fists both of them in there. And he goes,
Hugon grabs the bottle that he's tipped over, which is slowly emptying, and just like dumps it on his head. And like the mask just pulses as it like absorbs.
the mask
that
gets
stuff.
drunk.
The mask gets drunk.
And he's like, he says, "I think you and I need to have a conversation."
I think that you're correct.
We're gonna change scenes real quick back to the Drenmai or the Gemweaver workshop here, the Gem Goods and Sundries. Did anyone remember why we're here to see Grandmama Gemweaver?
Why are we here?
Why are we here?
I know Thunnik just knows he's being dragged along. He's got no reason to be here beyond that.
We're gonna have to watch some VODs, I think.
We're gonna have to watch some VODs. Okay, so I think actually that is
Yeah.
a pretty good place for us to end the game
Yeah.
while we figure it out.
Totally fair. Totally
So
fair.
I think
while
To end
ago.
the game.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Listen, this is what happens when you have lots of content and your dungeon master is incompetent. So, I'm kidding.
We also have 3 years of game.
This is
Throw
true.
yourself under the bus, why don't you?
I'm
I
gonna.
mean, it was like 6 months ago. Nobody wrote it down. I didn't write that. I've been writing other things down, but I didn't write that down.
All of the other things. So we will be. That is our game for this week. We will be right back with Table Talk, and we will go on from there. So everybody, stick
Tablet
around.
talk.
Yeah, the table talk, and we'll be
Tableau-
right back. So
tableau talk.
tableau it will be big with the tableau talk, and we will see.
God, no.
No, anyway, we'll be right back. So everybody, stay tuned. So we're gonna do the briefy table talk. So we'll start right away with old business, and we will start in quadrant. Yeah, we're back. Oh wait, I gotta unmute you guys. Hang on. I thought I did. I clicked it, but it didn't go. Okay, now we're gonna do the brief. All right, so we're gonna do that. Quadrant 3. 1, 2, 3. So that would be Roz.
Ah. What am I doing? Oh, hey. So the
I'm Roz. I play tape.
My favorite moment. Well, it's got to be opening the portal. I mean that, and I need a quartz.
Mm-hmm.
I need a quartz like right now.
Very specifically need a quartz.
Yeah, it was great.
I was about all ready to like blow up a mountainside to get this quartz.
I will destroy this world to find this tiny dog.
I've already set parts of Candlekeep on fire. Let's destroy some of the mountainside that surrounds it.
Burn
Why
the
not?
world. We must
burn it all down so I can have my shiny.
Moving in an anti-clockwise direction, we shall then go to Mr. Blind Cleric.
I think my favorite moment was the stampede.
That's right.
There's a stampede. No, there isn't. But there's a stampede. No, there clearly is not.
No, I've been there. I've seen stampedes. I've
seen it. They come out of nowhere.
That's why you can't see them. I've seen The Lion King. I know how this goes.
It's like a flash flood. It just comes out of nowhere.
But it's a stampede of ants. It's actually just like a small line of ants. That
was really good. I liked the ritual to get the portal open was probably the most magical thing that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was circles, there was chanting, there was harmonic frequencies of magic involved. There was 3 different schools of magic involved.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit going on there.
I drew the circle.
It circles.
Yeah. Oh, neat.
Circles within circles.
Circles within circles.
But yeah, that was the stampede and the circle.
Continuing in the anti-clockwise direction, over to Mr. Viking Goatee Von Martino.
You're going to have to not screen cap it, do that little Twitch clip thing. Nefarious Tomas, the appearance of Nefarious Tomas is kind of great. And I look forward to hearing what his reaction to that.
If he ever sees it.
If he ever sees it.
I'm sure I don't actually know what he'll do, but I'm sure he'll do something.
I think he'll like it. That's fine. Yeah, Christian will show it to him. We'll get Christian to show
Nefarious Tomas.
Nefarious Tomas.
Yeah. Also, your mask is extra freaking gross now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is.
It's super gross.
Been waiting for months to do that.
Well, then we move over to clues.
Yeah, my favorite bit is the entire shopping montage, and then it's like shopping montage, something you normally correlate with being positive, but it's like, I want blood, I want a silver bowl, I'm gonna make this really gross thing and have all these encounters that are in back end alleys, and it's like a drug addict. It's like, okay, and then the beginning of it all, of him just being like, F you to my grandmama, is so funny.
Come with me. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. It's like,
seems like you're trying to control me. Could you stop?
I think Grandmama Gemweaver has been around long enough that she's going to tell you what's best for you based on her experience, and if you choose to ignore that advice, well, fine, it's on you. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time trying to get you to do something you're not.
I'm glad that she's that arrogant.
Yeah. No, it's not arrogance. It's just sometimes
it's entirely arrogant.
It's like, listen,
she's
if you like,
so old she doesn't care.
Yeah, it's like she just does not give a fuck. It's more like, hey, don't touch that stove. You're gonna burn yourself. Well, I'm gonna touch it anyway. All right.
It's very obviously not a hot stove in this case.
No, it's just creepy blood magic. That's
sometimes you got to do fucking blood magic, man.
Yeah. So that whole line of, and then I'm really excited to be like, Hugon's gonna appear at some point, and everyone's gonna have this, realization of something's different. And I'm
What
really
is
sad.
it? What
Yeah.
could it be?
As a thought going
Could it
squish,
be?
squish, squish,
Oh,
squish.
I have every intention of poking it.
Don't poke. Don't poke the raw muscle.
I
Please.
plan on poking it. Just fair warning.
You don't want to touch this. I want to touch it.
I want to touch
I
it.
would love to touch it.
There-
I'm gonna touch
Ren-
all of it.
Yeah, Dren doesn't have that filter. It's if it looks like silly putty on his face, it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
It looks more like the what's that shit called?
Flash.
Did y'all play the first Dead Space?
Yes.
You know how like the ground kind of looks at some point where it's like
Yes.
spider webby and fleshy and like not necessarily liquid but also not necessarily flesh
Yeah.
in some places, and it makes you walk real slow and you have to stomp and everything.
Yes.
It's kind of like that except just a slightly different color.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
It's like
I'm
a
not.
membranous grossness
It's mushy
in the
enough
shape
where
of
I
a
want to touch
face.
it.
That's fine, yeah.
So-
I'm not saying you can't touch it. Just
So we're turning this into Sunday body horror. Apparently.
be
It's-
prepared.
She won't be.
So there was the eat a turnip. That was fun.
Blame Animal Crossing. It's
That's-
Sunday.
it's-
It's turnip day. Eat a turnip.
It's fine. It's there was an office side that now kiss. I think would be freaking hilarious if like that's how
Oh,
the
that would
spell
be
had
good.
to
Yeah,
work.
that
All right,
was
now you
great.
two make out.
Now kiss so I can watch.
I couldn't help it. It was just like I'm putting you into place. I'm putting you into place. And it's like two Barbie dolls. Now kiss. That's just what I pictured in my head.
I love you,
Like
Felix.
mashing
I
two
love
trucks
you
together.
too, Eno. Oh, you're so handsome. You're such a good kisser.
Because they're
How would I have your babies? How would that even work? I don't know. Let's do it.
they're such larger creatures than me, so it's not like I have two dolls. I have two dolls. It's like a me.
That's when Drenmai learned how to do voodoo dolls to make people do things.
The
Exactly.
voodoo that you do so well. Yeah, the whole now you got how you're gonna break it to the Rock's family was just that killed me. We have I'm taking away 6 points from Roz for the void your warranty pun. You just don't deserve.
Wow.
You lose 6 points. I mean, just because.
6 points for Rosendal.
6 points deducted.
And I gotta tell you, I'm looking forward to following up on not only what we finally discovered is why the team came to Sigil to begin with, which we will reveal next week. Or go back and watch our videos and you'll figure it out. And figuring out how to ruin the dreams of a god. So I think there's gonna be some individual conversations being had this week with players to find out where we would like to see things go. Do we have any new business?
Not quite.
No.
Not on my end.
No? All
Sort
right.
of. I'm like designing freaking patches for hopefully whenever I actually acquire a university packs jacket.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Oh.
adding to the patches.
Yeah, no, I started making EDR designs for sleeves, card sleeves and stuff.
Mm.
That's right, the
Nice,
card
nice, nice,
sleeves.
nice, nice, nice.
Yes, I need them.
How do you guys feel about Argyle as a pattern?
What is that?
No.
S-
Art.
You know what? I can actually.
Is
show
that
it
an
to you,
old
'cause
person thing?
It's
It-
an old person thing.
It's an old person and a hipster thing.
Think
it's-
of the pattern socks of your grandpa.
it's Argyle.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
so church
crisscross.
socks.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
card sleeves that are church socks.
Yes.
Yeah, but with our logo.
Church socks.
With our logo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about that. I just
I'm trying to give you the
Gol-
visual.
golf socks. The socks they wear when they golf.
I don't know if
Yes.
my grandfather has ever golfed.
None of my family golfs.
My
We are not
granddad did
golfers.
a lot. And,
I think my family has too many anger issues to golf.
I am the reason that you can't drive golf carts if you're a minor at a country club.
Yeah.
Are you
There's-
really? Like,
I am. I legitimately am.
like you were allowed to before, and now you're not.
Completely on accident, but it's still the truth.
You drove into something
Twice.
by
On
accident.
accident.
But
On accident every time.
well, that's okay. um, So, and I think hopefully, we're going to find out because we do live in interesting times. We're hoping to be able to start making some DNC announcements.
Hopefully.
In the coming weeks,
Yeah.
we're hoping. But it's all dependent on a lot of different various factors.
Yes, it is.
So, but we will have hopefully something soon. We've got.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to be much further along at this point in the month, but can't do shit right now.
That's pretty much how it is. We have Monday night. We have the breakdown.
Yeah, calling it the breakdown build-up, I think, maybe, because
kind of
right now I'm
cool.
just breaking down laptops because old laptops and stuff like that. But eventually
You could be
I'd like to
breaking
start-
down how to build things.
Yeah, it's the opposite of how to build. I'm disassembling, but I'd like to eventually start using the parts I'm getting out of things. I'm recycling most of them, but like I have a handful of speakers. I got a webcam from the last laptop, and I'm eventually going to repurpose all the screens I got, and then Brian will have a third screen to play with.
It's gonna go right in there. It's gonna help It's gonna help with the audiobook recording. It's gonna make things go much faster.
But yeah, I'd like to eventually use that time as a DIY show.
Okay.
Hence the breakdown build-up.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then Tuesday we have Late to the Game.
Yes, provided I'm not stuck working again.
And are we still doing Baldur's Gate?
Still doing Baldur's Gate, and now that I've got the
Oh, can't hear you.
You cut
Now
out.
that you have the blank.
Now
No,
that
you
I
can hear me
have
now?
the.
I can hear
No,
you
now
now.
you can hear.
Okay, I figured out what the issue with my capture card is. I'm using all of my USB buses.
Ah.
Yeah, so I have I run my webcam, or I ran my webcam through a USB hub, so I could use my work computer and everything else for my screen. And that capture card uses that bus.
Hmm.
It doesn't like it. So that's not going to work. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe
hopefully
I'll play something else at the same time.
hopefully you won't be working and you'll be able to do your Late to the Game. And then Saturday night we're going to do our Moshing Badger and I are going to do our second Saturday night fights, where we do Transformers the card game over webcam. If anyone else is interested, and that's just not the folks that are sitting here that I'm looking at, all your faces on the screen, but if anyone is interested, who sees this, who is interested in playing Transformers with us on there, we're definitely looking to see other people in there, so it's not just the two of us beating the crap out of each other's cards with the same cards every week, because that only has so much playtime.
Right.
So if anyone is interested, or you know someone who might be interested to play Transformers for Saturday night fights, we'll be having that. And then, of course, on Sunday, provided weird shit doesn't happen, as it seems to happen, we will be back with a brand new episode of Team X, where we will finally resolve all of the plot points and then turn it into a giant game of Cat, Mary, Damacy.
I'm okay with this.
Roll to see what you roll. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got. So if we're good, should we call it quits for the day?
Yeah.
Oh, I
think
will.
we're square.
Where? Oh, one other thing. On Wednesday, it will not be on the Eat Drink Roll channel, but it will be on Facebook Live. If you're not watching C Team, I understand this is going to conflict with C Team, but if you're not watching C Team, there's going to be a launch party stream for the Colosseum Arcanist book that I narrated by Shami Stovall. We completed production back in January, and they finally just released it.
Cool.
Because
Awesome.
Wow.
I don't know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it took long enough. I'm like a third of the way through the next book in the series already narrating it, and we finally get this one. So anyway, if anyone is not doing C Team, you're more than welcome to join us. We'll be having
Neat.
surprises, but if not, that's cool too. Anyway, are we good? Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing, and
Tabletug.
we will see everyone on the
Tabletug.
interwebs throughout the week. Have a great week, everybody. See you on the Discords.
Bye-bye.
Bye.